What's going on, everybody? We are here with Discovering Cinema, and tonight, I'll let you know Flip's feeling a little under the weather. Other than that, what's going on?
Not much, man. Just sick with the flu.
Hey,
But
Dave, what's
come
going
on, Dave.
on?
Damn, number one, ready to go. What's going on, man? Yeah, just not feeling too good. Watched a bunch of movies this week. Um, Mostly watched for once. Watched what I picked up,
Nice.
which never happens. I usually just
No,
pick
that's
stuff up.
rare.
Very rare. I mean, I'm not gonna show it off on air, but I don't know if you can see behind me. I got all four Columbia Noir sets. Gonna eventually try to watch all four of those. Um, I was planning on doing all noir in November, but noir sucks. So
As you just bought, what is that, 12 or 16 films, something like that?
it's something like that. Yeah. What's going on, nerd of the '80s? What's going on, buddy? Yeah. Do you want to talk about pickups?
Yeah, let's do it. Hey, Jeff, good to see you.
Um,
Uh,
do you
I'll
want
go first.
to go
Just
first?
I'll show these couple because I wanted to show that I take people's recommendations to heart. So first, our dear friend Eric, the Asian movie enthusiast, talked about Mimicry Freaks, and I've been dying to see this since he described it. And then we talked about Gonjiam, the Haunted Asylum. Had to get that in. And then a friend of mine, Flip, you may have heard of him. He recommended Gamora
Yeah, I'm so glad you
from
picked that up.
Criterion, so I got that ordered. What about you?
Um, I also take friends' recommendations pretty seriously, and got Blood Simple finally. I like the Coen brothers. I haven't seen everything. Like I still haven't seen Miller's Crossing. And when that
What a
got
good
announced,
time.
I was really excited. But I think No Country for Old Men, and the few others I have seen are incredible. So I can't wait to watch that. Um, Picked up more Shaw Brothers stuff. Two kind of out of print stuff. This is Heaven and Hell. This is directed by Cheng Che, and it is. Let me just read this back to you. Critically acclaimed Shaolin Brotherhood film director Cheng Che brings martial mayhem beyond reality as he merges the five Venoms with Alexandra Fouchang and David Chiang to add new levels to Dante's already agonizing Inferno. Heaven and Hell screams bloody madness because the violent fight sequences will make you wince in disbelief while the notion of hell goes beyond psychotic. So it's martial arts Dante's Inferno, which
That sounds incredible.
sounds incredible. It's Ching Che. What noir did I order? I ordered the Columbia Noir sets. They're over there. I didn't feel like grabbing them because they're
From Indicator.
yes, Indicator. Great sets. I'm
You
gonna
got
talk
something to
about
say
that.
about this?
I'm gonna talk about that. Actually, yeah, I'll talk about that right after this one. So this is Men from the Monastery, another Ching Che film. Just I really don't know nothing about this one. Just Shaolin people fighting as Ching Che. So, but the Chinese boxer. Holy shit! This movie, I had seen this before, and I do own a bootleg of this. But the transfer is one of the best looking transfers I've seen all year, like hands down. It looks incredible, especially the scenes in the snow. But the story behind this movie is even cooler than the actual film itself. So Jimmy Wang Yu became the biggest star in Hong Kong when he was in One Armed Swordsman. Before that, he was in a bunch of shit. And he wrote, directed, and starred in this, and he had to fight tooth and nail to get this made, even though he was the biggest star. He was like the top of his
Right.
game. Um, and Shaw said no. They kept saying no. So he said, look, it's either you let me make this movie or I'm going to leave, which he eventually did leave because because his relationship with him soured because of this movie. But it's just an awesome film. The fight sequences are amazing. I will say though, Jimmy Wang Yu is my favorite martial art actor, even though he's not a martial artist. He's very famous for getting into street fights. He's kind of a shithead. But he does not know how to throw a kick. And when you watch this movie, there was a few scenes where he kicks, and you're like, "That's pretty bad." But he's got like an energy to him that I don't think anyone else has. Flip, where do I get my Shaw Brother films? I'm not gonna say because there's a couple more I want to get that are on there. And once I'm done, I have two more packages. So probably next week, I'll tell you guys where I got them. I've mentioned it before, but it's a seller, so um, it's eBay. But
I was going to say eBay, but it sounds like you don't
it's
want to.
eBay. But yeah, this has got a lot of great special features. It's got a nice book. I think this is one of Kung Fu Bob's best artwork
I agree there.
yet. Amazing. This is spine number was this 27 and 88 films Asian collection, and the first one to come out in the States. So just damn fine film. Pick this up. It's $20 on Amazon.
It's pretty incredible.
$20. And then I picked up Arion, which is an anime. Put out my discotheque. This is a Japanese retelling of Greek mythology. Beautifully animated, great action sequences. One of the best anime movies I've watched recently. I would highly recommend this. This is also pretty cheap. And then was able to find this for a decent price. True Romance 4K.
Nice.
Holy shit, does this look incredible? Sat down and watched this last night with the wife, and she had never seen it before and
Neither's
loved
mine.
it. Gary Oldman in this movie is my favorite.
Gary Oldman in every movie.
Yeah, but like Taylor goes, that guy looks familiar. And I'm like, well, he's a character actor. That's Gary Oldman. I was like, he played Abraham Lincoln. And she was like, this guy played Lincoln? And I was like, yeah. And I feel like that character would be cringy if anyone else did it.
Yeah.
But Gary Oldman fucking nails it. What you think
He's
of White
amazing.
Boy Day? Like, just fucking so good. And then like, just like there's so many like minor characters that are only in there for brief seconds. Samuel L. Jackson's character where he's like, man, I eat pussy, I eat the butt. Like just so fucking funny. And then of course, you know, people say Pacino and De Niro and Heat is like the greatest sit down talk to talk. But I think is it Dennis Hoffman? Dennis Hopper, sorry. Dennis Hopper and Christopher Walken doing that scene is one of the best sit down scenes of all time. And as a Sicilian, because that history is true, as a Sicilian, whenever anything, a movie, TV show, whatever, mentions Sicily, and specifically Sicily, because the culture is different, the language is different, the food's different, it makes me really happy. I think I'm a little offended that they chose Christopher Walken to play a Sicilian because he does not look like us at all. But he kills it. And also there's a few things in that movie that aren't subtitled that they're speaking Sicilian. And it's fucking great. It's like shit that my grandfather used to say, like Amoni, and you know, like aspetta, like just fucking awesome stuff. Movie looks incredible. Patricia Arquette, gorgeous back then. Christian Slater, crazy looking. Just so fucking good, man. And
that movie encapsulates the peak of so many people right then. It is like peak 90s. The entire thing. Oh yeah.
There's a time period where like they just don't make, like, I don't want to say they don't make movies like this anymore.
It's true.
But True Romance, Deep Cover, King of New York, Bad Lieutenant, Juice. There was just a moment in time where all these incredible crime movies were coming out.
Yep.
And there's nothing like that anymore. I think the last crime movie, there was like maybe in 2012, 2013, we got like The Drop, Killing Them Softly, and they're all right. But there's nothing like just like True Romance. And Tony Scott, I think this is better than Top Gun for me personally. So
Top Gun has always felt like a bro movie for me that doesn't make a lot of sense.
I love Top Gun, but I think True Romance is his best work. And then one more thing I got today, I haven't watched any of it yet, is the Once Upon a Time in China box set.
Save the rant. Let's go over that right after this.
Okay.
So, whole bunch of comments to go over first. John wants to point out the commentary on Chinese Boxer is great. Everybody, make sure you watch your supplements. These discs come out and they're great. The film themselves, they're always good, but the supplements are where the real nuggets of information are sometimes. And the best thing is they give so much context to some of these films that you just can't get from like IMDb trivia. This is real like film school on some of these. So make sure you're putting that time in.
Everything that I said to you was because I watched the commentary. So highly recommend.
Our friend Dave watched one of our favorites. He watched Django the other night.
Oh, yes. The better Sergio.
For sure. We got Scream 4K and Candyman coming to John. I also ordered Candyman 4K. Have you watched any of the Candyman films ever?
I've seen the first one.
Good.
And I've seen most of the Screams. So
Good. The
Did you
new
get it?
Candyman is worth it.
Is it really?
It's very worth it.
Yeah, but it's like pro BLM, and you know how.
I know how you are. Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I love how people like the original was very much that. Was very much that. And I feel like horror movies get a bad rap out of like any other genre because a lot of them do say something more than just the killing aspect. But there
Almost
are a lot
all
of
them.
there's just a bunch of dumb people that are just like, oh, I want to see people die. Like that's
Right.
And then if you do anything in 2021 that's remotely talking about a political issue or a social issue, it's deemed woke. It's like, dude, these movies have been woke for decades. Like,
Or the underhanded way they've been calling it, like all the Jordan Peele films. They can't just be horror. They can't be something that stands for something or culturally relevant. They're elevated horror, which is like an underhanded way to say that. Oh man, they're awful. But
then also you get into the thing where like if you don't like that movie, because I don't think Jordan Peele's a good filmmaker. I think he's an okay filmmaker. But if you don't like them, then you're automatically labeled as something like, even if you're just looking at it from a film point of view. Like I think his first movie is good. I think the rest of what he's done is not good. So it's like it's one of those things where it's like he had a hit. And
he's really only done two things, though. He's produced some things, but he's really only done two things.
He did a few. Did he do the Twilight Zone TV show?
He produced it.
Okay,
he didn't direct any of it.
So his first movie I really liked. His second movie I didn't.
And I'm actually the opposite. Like I like Get Out a lot, but I think Us is actually the masterpiece of the two.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, see, that's just
I really liked Us. Next, Jeff he's got a couple of your good ones coming on. He's got Millionaires Express coming,
nice.
And Village of the Damned is on his way. But the big thing, if you've never seen it, you still need to see City of the Living Dead. Really great Fulci. And then this is exactly what I would say.
Is City of the Dead with the one with the church or the morgue or whatever?
That is House by the Cemetery.
Okay.
But on the cover art of City of the Living Dead, which is also called Gates of Hell in a lot of situations, it does have pictures of tombstones on the cover.
Okay.
Candyman 2021 is literally a mirror version of the 1990 film. They work so well back to back. Is exactly what I would say.
You know, I gotta say, the guy who is it Tony Todd that plays the Candyman?
In the original, yes.
Yes. So I always thought he looked like, as a kid, I always thought he looked like O.J. Simpson for some reason in my mind. So
weird.
For years, I thought O.J. Simpson was a Candyman.
Odd. Okay.
O.J. Simpson's kind of like the Candyman.
Nerds got PTU coming from Eureka. Nice. And Silent Action, The Children, Dogs of War. That's a good pickup, yeah.
Is Dogs of War any good? That's the one with Christopher Walken, right?
It is. It is. It's been a few years, so I don't have the exact details, but I remember it being better than average, but not like a masterpiece.
I still, when he goes, you're an eggplant, and he goes, you're a cantaloupe. Just fucking, I love that movie, dude. OJ used a knife, not a hook. You could say a hook is just a knife in some aspects.
You should check your text while I'm looking at these last two pickups here. I also got Haxan from Criterion. This is what I need to watch from my October watch along still. I just have not had a chance to get it yet. And it's available for streaming, so I was going to stream it. Let me hide some nipples on this one. I got Umbrella's release of Possession, like I didn't already have it. I just wanted this version.
I still haven't seen that, but
dude.
I saw a clip of the subway scene where she's like freaking out, screaming. What's that about?
Possession is incredible.
Is it a good movie?
No, it's not a good movie. It's like one of the 20 best of all time.
For real?
Yes.
And who directed that? Can you say his name?
Andrei Zulawski.
Andrei Zulawski.
Yeah.
I would not have guessed that's what that says.
Now, the last thing that I was going to bring up, Flip and I have been talking, and we are going to do a giveaway on our show. Do you want to share any details, or do you just want to tease?
So what the big prize, it's going to be multiple things in a package, and the other two are probably going to be kept secret until you get it. But the big thing is we're giving away a box set of the Cinematic Vengeance by Joseph Kuo, which is the new Eureka set. So it is going to be region B. I don't know if it's region A because some of them are. It's not region A. So it is region B. So be mindful of that. We're going to give it away. I'll pay for shipping as long as you're in the States. I am impatient, so I pre-ordered with Diabolic, and then they still haven't got theirs in. Right. And Orbit's had it for a week now.
Got a week and a half, yeah.
So mine's coming tomorrow, and then whenever the Diabolic one comes, it will be yours. I do have some extra like Shaw Brothers titles that I bought as a lot. So I will be giving away like a copy of The Trail of the Broken Blade will be in there, which is a really solid wuxia film starring Jimmy Wang Yu. It'll be a couple other surprises in there. It'll be like a flip starter pack. It'll be like a samurai movie, a gangster movie, some kung fu stuff, and we're gonna give it away to one lucky viewer, which will be on. We'll probably do it not this week, probably the week after. So not this coming show, but the show after. So in 2 shows, we're gonna give it away. So
right after Black Friday weekend.
Right after Black Friday weekend, just because I'm gonna assume the Diabolic stuff will probably come in this week, and then I won't get it till mid next week. So.
And Flip doesn't know about this because I hadn't mentioned that I was going to do something as well. One person is going to be getting the Flip starter pack, and then just to make this a mirror image for the Flip starter pack, we're going to give the second place something that Flip would also highly suggest you watch. And I'm going to give away a copy of the Ron Steelbook from Best Buy.
Oh, fuck. You got one?
Yes. And it looks incredible.
I didn't get one. How about you just give it to me? Fuck our viewers. That is beautiful. That is one of the best movies ever. Can you throw in a veteran discount, Flip? Oh my god. Did I rant about that last week?
Yes.
Oh Jesus, Jeff. Are you actually a veteran? Because if you are, thank you.
Jeff, if you win, he'll pay for shipping and put in 50 cents. You can get that 10% back.
Oh man, I need to rant about this.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
So it seems like as time goes on, their packaging on what I would call their standard box sets is just getting worse and worse.
They being Criterion, by the way.
Criterion. When you have as much problems as Arrow's had this year with the disc stuff, their box sets of the first pressing, the first limited edition, not the reprints because the reprints are flimsy. No, but I like Italian food. Have always been hard shell cases. They're like this, kind of to give you guys a little taste of what we're gonna be talking about. It's been nice hardback, cases, and they're relatively priced. I think for this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 movies, a booklet, and a box was like $80. This is also 5 movies, a booklet. And this is $120 retail, 62 and some change, with the 50% off sale. This thing is even flimsier than the Bruce Lee set, which I thought was insanely flimsy. I was like, there's no way. So as you can tell, like right here, this is already coming open. I haven't even taken this out of the set yet. It feels like absolute shit. And they waste this beautiful packaging on just the beautiful art on some of the worst packaging I've ever seen from a boutique Blu-ray company. And they need to get their shit together. So like, look, already kind of coming off of the thing right there. Here's the problem I have with Criterion is that at one time you kind of were like, and look at this art. This art is insane. It's gorgeous. The booklet seems fine. The book's fine. It is stapled together, so it's not like a bound book or anything, but it's fine for what it is. But there was a time when Criterion you were paying for, you're getting the brand new transfer, so you kind of looked past it. Oh, you're paying for the supplement, so you look past it. But now you have companies who are doing box sets way better than they are. We have companies whose transfers are way better than theirs, and we have companies whose special features, their supplements, are way better than theirs. Another digipack, and I don't hate digipacks. I think their Lone Wolf and Cub set is solid. I wish it would have been a bigger box, but I think their Lone Wolf and Cub set's solid. I think the Sancho, the Bailiff, and the Seven Samurai set's solid. But this and the Bruce Lee set from last year are just absolute garbage.
You know, one of the main reasons this pisses me off is because it punishes those that spend a lot of time with this set. Because the more that you take it out and the more that you open it up and read and admire the artwork, the worse shape it's going to be in, no matter what. And you, even if you're like white gloving it, it's impossible to keep it in perfect shape.
I mean, I bought mine brand new. I mean, it's already, the bottom is already kind of like coming off. It's just like not a good package. And it's so disappointing because this was one of my most anticipated releases of the year. I'm still going to watch the movies. I'm sure the transfers are going to look good. Hopefully, I think the special features sound awesome. I can't wait to watch those. But man, just for people, for for a company that used to be the standard, they're not the standard anymore. And it just is so sad.
The Citizen Kane packaging is just like that terrible Del Toro trilogy they had, where it's a square and then it folds in every direction. That is not practical. I just want a regular Blu-ray set.
That, dude, literally, that's just a downscale version of the Wong Kar-wai set, where it's literally. Right. And that's the thing, is that they can't just put out save your time and making these elaborate fucking paper box sets, and just put out a fucking unified hard case with your fucking discs in them. That's it. So
their Godzilla and Bergman sets. I'm going to say the Godzilla set is so poor that I didn't even keep it. I didn't want to keep it because it doesn't make any logical sense.
It doesn't make sense, but also, and this isn't their fault, the transfers that they got from Japan were bad. Yep. Like, were terrible transfers. And also, those were coming out when the original had gotten a 4K in Japan. So yep. It's like, this doesn't make any sense. The Bergman set is built soundly, but it's stupid big to the point where you're looking at it, and I, as someone who watched every movie in that set in a month, it was a fucking pain in the ass, because I don't like to leave my discs in the Blu-ray player. I like to, when I'm done, I take it out. I don't care how tired I am, I put it back in the case. That thing was a chore to open up.
I will say the Bergman set, it is perfect for what they were trying to do, though.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's
the whole film festival aspect that they were aiming for.
So the thing with the, that's kind of reminds me of the thing with the Eureka set of the Cinematic Vengeance. They have broken it up very similar to the Bergman set, where they have two different themes. So one case is Evil Masters or whatever, and the other one's Shaolin. And then on each disc, they're paired. They pair movies with a double feature. So the first disc, I think, is 7 Grandmasters and then 36 Deadly Styles, which pair well together. So I like that idea, but it's just, and I completely agree. I don't even own any Second Sight, but seeing Ryan talk about it, they're just insane.
Yep.
Just insane. And then Arrow. Arrow's my all-time favorite, just because I know when Arrow set's coming out, unless it's specified, like the Gamera set or the Shaw set, that it's going to be uniformed. It's going to fit right next to all the other Arrow sets, and the special features are going to be good. I mean, I don't know. It's really disappointing, because this for the price should not be $120. This should be 60, period, flat out, for what the materials are. I mean, it's insane.
With Criterion in their name, I expected 100 on it. I did not expect 120.
I was expecting 120, because when it got when I first saw it, I was like, it looks like the Bruce Lee set. It's gonna be 120 probably.
Well, and the Bruce Lee set was overpriced for sure.
Oh, it's super overpriced, and Bruce Lee sucks. So it's like, you're paying all that money for. I'm just kidding. That triggered a bunch of people with that comment. I'm just kidding. I like Bruce Lee. I own the set, but
Nerd, by the way, he said he liked the Godzilla book. And one thing I will defend that kind of pisses me off about Criterion, the art on the front of the Godzilla set is incredible. That should be a poster that I can buy.
The art for every page is incredible.
Yes.
So, I'm really disappointed with Criterion. I mean, the Wong Kar, it seems like every time something comes out that I'm excited about, that's not a single release, because I think Deep Cover blew me away. Yep. What's another one that I picked up this week? I really liked High Sierra as well. So I'm happy about that. I think the Furies. See, this is what I'm like. This right here is fine. When it's a single thing with like an extra thick book on it, this type of packaging is fine. This box is thicker than what's fucking housing the Once Upon a Time in China set. I mean, I don't know if you're able to tell on air, but you can like in person, it's noticeably it is thicker.
Oh yeah, you can see it on the edge there. Yeah,
just fucking insane. So,
and Jeff, this is absolutely true. They definitely charge more just because of their name.
Yes, 100%. There's no reason why some of their samurai movies are $40 when they have absolutely no special features on them, like
Right.
zero. So, yeah, we are just we're just paying for that fucking C. And that C should stand for cunts.
And it's not even straight; it's off kilter.
Yeah, it's just like their quality of their packaging. It's a little sideways.
So that was Criterion. Any other watches that you wanted to go over from this week?
Let me look at my letterbox. Oh, I watched that new Rock movie and Ryan Reynolds.
Oh God, really?
Oh my, I didn't even log it on Letterboxd. It was
Hey SJ, welcome.
Hey,
to the
what's
channel.
going on, man?
Glad to have you.
I just do not like. I think I'm over The Rock and Ryan Reynolds. I think it's just like, in controversial opinion, Gal Gadot may be beautiful. She's not a good actor.
I don't think that's controversial.
I don't think she's a good actor. Did I talk about Harder They Fall last week?
I'm not sure.
Watch The Harder They Fall, which is a new Western on Netflix. Best Netflix original of the year. Idris Elba. It's a
Oh yeah, you did. Yeah. Okay.
Love that. So that's pretty much the only thing I watched. Rewatched Seven Samurai and love the fuck out of it. My Ran 4K Steelbook came in. It's stunning. Dude, that transfer that they use, because it's the same one for the Studio Canal one in the UK, looks great. So
I really only had 2 watches this week because I am run ragged right now. One I finished up today, and since I talked about the first one last week, I'll say Addams Family Values is easily the better movie out of the 2 Addams Family movies from the early 90s. Really well done. God, I love that movie. The other one is last night I showed my wife Santa Sangre from Severin. Watched the new 4K UHD disc that came out earlier this year. She was like the entire time eyes wide open, just kind of sitting there going, what in the hell? First off, I watched that movie years ago, and it was some cut version on I believe either VHS or like crappy snowy TV years ago. And oh my God, dude, this 4K is a revelation. Severin, yeah, their 4Ks this year have been incredible. And it was shocking how good it looked. And obviously, it's coming from basically an art house director that does everything to go insane. And yeah, this movie does not disappoint in the visuals whatsoever.
Speaking of 4K, because there's so many companies, so many boutiques doing 4Ks now.
Yep.
Is there any reviews on Criterion's 4K?
Yes. Drive? The only one is Mulholland Drive, and it is supposedly stunning.
Okay.
I haven't gotten it yet. I've heard mostly great things. I believe mine is in. I just need to go pick it up.
Did I ever show you this meme about Mulholland Drive?
No.
Because I do love that movie. I do think it's a pretty fucking funny movie. But it says Lynch fans will be like, this scene is fucking scary, and then the scene is just this, which is true.
Oh man, I love Arrested Development too.
So do I. Yes, I mean that's better than Criterion. Watch Red Notice; they're pretty much playing themselves. Yeah, but the problem is that the action there is like I did watch one other thing. Speaking of action, I just didn't like the action either. It's just generic. The Rock has a clause in his contracts that he can't get hurt in a movie, so he doesn't. And then Ryan Reynolds is just like, I think he's a good person. He does a lot of good in this world, but I'm just over the gimmick. You know what I mean?
Yeah, a lot of his stuff has been the same since day one.
Just like I like anything that he's in, I'm just like, I'm not gonna watch it just because he's in it. Like I do not like him. Not gonna watch Free Guy. I watched this reluctantly, because on Letterboxd it was all 2 stars for my friends, and then there was one person who gave it a 5, and I was like, I want to see what's wrong with this guy, and I watched it. And I was like, man, there's something seriously wrong. I did
Some
watch
people
One
like what they
Shot.
like.
I did watch One Shot, which is British martial artist. What's his name? Help me
Scott
out.
Adkins.
Scott Adkins. It's Scott Adkins. It's a one-take action movie.
Oh, that one. Okay.
It's actually solid. It's like a pretty solid, fun movie. Like, it's not gonna win any awards. I like Reynolds and Buried.
Have you seen Buried?
Yes.
It is a very not Ryan Reynolds version of Ryan Reynolds.
I think I liked it because he died at the end. No, I'm just kidding. There's another movie that's one person. Was it Tom Hardy in the car? Have you seen that movie?
Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy's plays like a business guy who cheated on his wife, and she gets pregnant, and he's driving to the delivery of his bastard child, and it's just him in a car the entire time, just phone calls, and it's phenomenal. Like, Tom Hardy nails it.
You like Time and Tide a lot, right?
Yes, I do like Time and Tide.
And I love Night of the Hunter. So this is a really good double set here.
That's a good double feature. Time and Tide is one of those movies where, like, you just need to turn your brain off to the plot, because there is some amazing action sequences in that movie. Lock. That's the name of the film. You should watch that.
I believe I have it. So isn't it 824?
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, it is. I see it right now. Yeah.
Damn.
I just haven't gotten to it yet.
I cannot wait for that Uncut Gems 4K. I want that so bad.
Hopefully they did it justice.
Hopefully, but you never know.
Speaking of Uncut Gems in 4K, I would love to see pretty much everything from the Safdie brothers in 4K.
Good Times in 4K?
Good Time in 4K would be incredible.
I really want A24 to just work with Criterion or work with another label or something.
Or, knock these out of the park like they've done with both of these. If they did like 12 more of their titles in that packaging, obviously it would be a little overwhelming to do it all at once, but do one a month for the next year, and do the Lighthouse like
Lighthouse
that.
4K.
Do Waves. Do Waves in that packaging and put that out.
Imagine Lighthouse in 4K, because it's a smaller picture, it's black and white. It would look incredible.
Yeah.
God damn, that movie is so good.
I agree.
Which has better come, that or Green Knight?
Well, define better. More realistic is easily Green Knight.
Which scene's better?
Probably Lighthouse.
Yeah, because the Green Knight one made me feel so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Just like.
Well, that's probably because you kept holding your friend's hand.
Yeah, that's true. What movie doesn't Ryan have? Watch this. Ryan, do you have the Mikogami trilogy?
Yes.
No, you don't.
Yeah. No, I don't.
I was like, what? Are you fucking serious?
What? It's right here. Let me.
I would have shit my pants if that happened. Do you have Hanzo the Razor?
I don't believe so.
Damn. No, those
a lot of that type I just have never been able to get into. And also, not to be a snob about it, but I definitely try to go more Blu-ray and 4K over DVD these days, and a lot of those never made the jump past DVD.
That's true. There's something really fun about putting on a DVD and just, like, even though it doesn't look the best, just like the type of movie it is, like, like a exploitative samurai movie, and just sitting down. It's just like it's I don't know, it's part of the experience.
And this funny thing is, it has to be a very certain kind of movie, because a movie like that, you have, I don't know, it's like an aura ingrained in the shitty quality. But then there's something else, like I think I mentioned this before. I tried to sit the family down to watch Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, and all I had was the old Disney DVD, and it was just the worst experience. Literally, after about 15 minutes, it was unwatchable.
Really, that bad?
That bad.
See, I've been watching a lot of DVDs, but the stuff I'm watching is like Kung Fu.
Right.
And I think, like what you said, that there's like a personality to the DVD quality for those movies. I'm excited to see the new transfers that Arrow's doing, because some of those movies are like, we haven't had a good transfer in a while. And
ever.
some of those movies is we haven't had the uncut version either. So it's like
Right.
really excited. I'm excited to see their new transfer of the Five Deadly Venoms because RZA did one for 36 Cinemas, and I've watched that a couple times, and it looks good. But I'm curious to see what Arrow does specifically with that transfer. So
I'm going to start talking about our show tonight.
yeah, so tonight we're doing our favorite franchises, our favorite series. I picked 5, and then Ryan goes, I have 13. And I was like, well, fuck, I'm going to go grab some more. So I think I have 12. And we're counting anything that has 2 or more movies. So there's one in here. There's a couple in here that are only 2 movies, but 2 or more movies. It doesn't have to be the same director. It just has to be in the same series. And quote unquote official series. Because like
right.
I was looking at Django and I was like, I could pick like 5 Django movies right now, but it has to be quote unquote official. So Ryan, do you want to kick things off?
Before I show the first one, I wanted to say that I had 2 on top of these that I have here, and I wanted to share them, but only if they stopped after the second film. And the first one is Alien. I think Alien and Aliens, literally 2 of the most perfect films of all time in a franchise. Absolutely perfect. After that, it sort of dives off the cliff. And then the other one, obviously closely related here, Terminator and Terminator 2. The first 2 are just
I think
amazing.
As time goes on and they're cranking out worse and worse Terminator movies, the third one gets better with time. I don't hate
as you reassess it.
I don't hate the third one, and I gotta say, Alien 1, one of the best horror movies of all time, and then Aliens, one of the best action movies of all time.
Easily.
It's a great double feature because you got the horror atmosphere in the first one and then the fucking action in the second one.
Well, and if you think about it, it's the exact same thing for Terminator. Terminator 1 is literally just a slasher.
Yeah, that's true. And then the second one is arguably one of the
pure
best
action
movies. It's fucking great. Dave's got a question for me, and I want to answer this real quick. That's hard. And I would also throw spaghetti westerns in there. That's hard for me to pick because all 4 of those movies, all 4 of those genres, Yakuza, Samurai, Kung Fu, and spaghetti westerns, all have like a very similar feel to them to me. A lot of them is about a warrior or a gunslinger who's just kind of alone. He has to go through unstoppable odds. It also depends on the mood I'm in. Right now, I'm in a huge Kung Fu mood. 2 months ago, you would have asked me I was in a huge samurai movie mood. But I'm in a Kung Fu mood right now. I think it's because we're fucking getting Kung Fu movies on Blu-ray, which is just wild. Right. So, and then, of course, Yakuza films. I love Yakuza films. We'll talk about them because I have a franchise here, actually, that I want to talk about. So do you want to go first?
Sure. I've got a couple extra anyways. I kind of divided mine horror and horror-ish and not horror. So I'm going to go one of my not horror first. I grew up on this franchise, and I won't say it's perfect, but it's pretty damn close. I truly adore the Back to the Future franchise. I love Michael J. Fox. I think he's perfectly cast, and it's hilarious historically that he wasn't the one cast, and I'm just glad that we got the right thing in the end.
Wait,
Christopher Lloyd.
There?
It was, what's his nuts? Isn't his name Eric something? For some reason I can't think right now because I'm so exhausted.
It wasn't him though?
No, Michael J. Fox was not the first cast. The other guy even filmed in part of the first movie, and it is odd, and I believe it's in some of the extras. And John, yes, there it is. Eric Stoltz. I knew it was Eric something. Eric's here. What's going on, Eric?
Eric.
The cartoon show, the series, is decent. It's not great, but the animation is surprisingly decent. And I think it's wonderful. Not to mention, after watching Addams Family and Addams Family Values over the last week, I have such a massive appreciation for Christopher Lloyd and everything he did in that series. He is truly the star of that entire series.
Really, Eric Stoltz?
Yeah.
The fucking hippie dude from Pulp Fiction.
There is a genuine, like, you can go and see footage of him filming the first movie.
So what happened?
If I remember right, he just didn't jive with Zemeckis or something like that.
Really? Huh.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad that I mean, no hate to Eric Stoltz, but you know, I don't think it would have been as iconic of a role if it was.
Not at all. And it's odd going back and seeing the footage with him in it, because a lot of it is the scenes like in the diner in the first movie, and him literally wearing the same vest and same wardrobe and everything. And it's just like, this obviously doesn't feel right, but it feels a little gross.
I'm Marty McFly mode. So tell me when the future's back. I forgot what rap song that is, but
Video Man, and I love Alien, Aliens, and Alien 3. I think Alien 4 is a terrible story, but such a perfect and beautiful production design and cool scene. Well, a lot of the production design with them, it goes back to the design of Alien and everything that everything Geiger did for that series is
incredible.
Agreed.
Which I wish more shit borrowed that style, because it's such a cool style.
Yep, and which is why it perfectly works with Predator.
Oh, speaking of Predator, did you see that first screenshot of the new one?
Looks pretty great.
And it's fucking Trachtenberg.
Yep.
Which I used to watch him on the Totally Rad show back in the day. I'm so I've never been so happy for someone's success before.
Exactly.
So back on that show, he was so nice. 10 Cloverfield Lane's the only good Cloverfield movie. And then I think it's a cool purpose. I wish they would have said shit though. If you just went into it blind and then the Predator shows up, that would have been such a cool sequence.
I also love that they're calling it Prey, because it could have literally not been linked at all. And then after it comes out, just, Predator. Okay. Yeah.
Is it really called Prey?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Why do studios got to ruin everything? Just fucking Hollywood sucks.
Jeff, I don't think he actually worked with them, but everything is stylized based off of everything surrounding all of his designs for the first film.
Mm-hmm. And I actually own a couple of his art books based on his work, because I find him fascinating.
He says, I don't agree with the production design, because if you look at the color palette in the fourth film, it's clear it comes from the head of Janu. I don't know enough about it. I would say that a lot of it obviously still stems from Geiger, but yeah, it certainly changes as it goes on. I mean, look at Covenant. A lot of it is still the Geiger designs, but it's completely made in their own thing.
John's got a really hot take, because I disagree wholeheartedly with that. I think the newest one is the worst one.
Just because it's the worst. I don't think it's a terrible film, though.
Didn't they sorry if I'm forgetting, because I watch a lot of movies, but didn't they weaponize Down syndrome or autism? Wasn't that the thing in that movie where like the autistic kid? Am I just completely misremembering this movie?
I don't remember what you're speaking on. Somebody else watching might be able to chime in there.
Yeah, John, can you please chime in?
If they've watched it more recently.
I think Predator, the one directed by Robert Rodriguez, is a good movie. I think that scene where the Predator fights a Yakuza member and the Predator respects him to only use his blades, like he recognizes that he's a warrior. It's such a cool fucking sequence. And it's got a pretty solid, crazy performance from Lawrence Fishburne. But someone please, Shane Black won. What else has Shane Black done?
All kinds of the great classic action films from the 90s.
Predator.
And the big thing for me, I'd say I tend to agree with John. I don't think any of them are bad movies. I think that because it's a franchise that's beloved, that they look at it more under a microscope. And that's the thing. If you actually take time to compare that to some of these other franchises that have genuinely terrible movies, it's hard to point out anything else that comes close to it. And that's one of the things I'll say is, yes, it was Shane Black, but he did Nice Guys and he did Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. He's done all kinds of stuff, but probably the worst part of it, he doesn't always do great with dialogue.
Yeah, there is something about autism in Predator. There's a whole rant on it
on Reddit that I'm not going to read, but it is.
I don't remember that.
I'll just read an excerpt here. So I know I'm probably going to sound preachy. I'm not sure if this is the right sub to open up about. But since we've got threads about Predator already, I need to get this off my chest. I'm fucking sick of how writers treat autism. I'm sick of how Hollywood treats autism. Fuck Jim Carrey. Fuck De Niro for bankrolling and spreading the bile of vaccine cause autism, blah, blah, blah. And fuck Shane Black, who in the year 2018 made a film that portrayed autism as a superpower that allowed a kid to read an alien language. I'll tell you something, Shane. My autism has never allowed me to decode languages I have no fucking context for. Hell, we have a joke in my family where I mispronounce a new word every day. I'm not a psychic. I'm not damaged goods. I'm not a wizard. I'm a human being who gets angry, greedy, happy, sad, ambitious, jealous, lazy, every single good and bad thing that comes in the package of being a living person.
There's a lot to say back to that as well. And as the parent of 2 literally diagnosed autistic kids, I've got a lot of feelings on that.
And I am on the spectrum. So
and I was never tested. I have zero doubt that I would be on the spectrum if I was tested. Zero doubt, especially because my oldest kid is literally me, just in a different decade.
Though is that the kid that's in the football?
Yes.
That's awesome. You know, man, if we ever make it home, I'm gonna do so much fucking cocaine. I'm gonna rape so many fine bitches.
He just wanted you to quote that.
Oh, I mean, that sounds. The last part doesn't sound fun. The first part sounded awesome. I had to catch myself there.
What is your first franchise?
My first franchise. I wanted to pick a Western, but like I was saying to you, or just a few minutes ago, it's really hard to pick a Western franchise because there's not a lot of like officially connected.
There's only
movies.
A couple that are truly connected.
The Dollars trilogy is the obvious. Like, I could pick that. The Django movies are connected officially, but I gotta say, the Sartana set is just awesome. There was more Sartana movies than the 5 that are included here, but these are the ones that are quote unquote official Sartana movies. All of them are good. This is the limited edition from Arrow. I like. Did you know that the back of the reprint's different?
No.
Yeah, the back of the reprint's completely different. I think it's just like a solid color. It doesn't have the bone with the smoke. Yeah. So what sets this franchise apart is that Sartana's a little mystical. He's got a little bit of mysticism to him. All the movies are pretty tropey, but if you are into that trope, it's a fun trope. It's a blast. All these movies look great, and I was doing it for a while. I was pairing these movies with a samurai movie, like a samurai counterpart. So like the Shadowhunter films.
Did you know the cocaine quote was from Predators?
No,
I don't know if you caught that or not.
No, I did not. But that's a great quote. I should rewatch Predators. But yeah, I adore these movies. The reprint's still in stock on Amazon. It's a hard box. It's not a flimsy box. It doesn't have the book though, so it's just missing the book.
And 50% off this month, I believe.
Is it really still? That's still going on
because Barnes and Noble is 50% off Arrow till the end of November.
Holy shit! Thanks, Bezos, for matching all that. I know Predator got ripped because of an actor being a sexual predator. Who? How do you feel about Olivia Munn?
Take it or leave it.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
I mean, I used to watch her on G4, and she was.
I didn't know she was an actor.
Super sexualized back in the day, and it was a little weird. And then suddenly she got super popular, and then started dating an anti-vaxxer. So what?
Wait, she's dating an anti-vaxxer? Who?
She dated. That was a joke regarding last week. She was with Mr. Packerman.
She dated Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah.
Fucking. Oh wow! Good for her.
And good for him. I mean, you could say that both ways, kind of.
I don't know. They're both stupid.
They're both like lower tier, but portrayed as like top tier.
Speaking of G4, I miss Kevin Pereira.
Yep.
What the fuck is that dude doing? He was so cool.
Yeah.
All right. So what's your next pick?
My next one, just to go on to the to go into the kind of horror side, and again, this is a franchise. Damn, he also dated Danica Patrick.
Dude, he's dating
Way out of his league. Literally, she's in NASCAR. He's in the NFL.
Wait, I don't think Danica Patrick's attractive.
No, not really. I was making a sport joke.
Oh, I mean, Rogers is kind of attractive. Good looking dude.
He's got a weird face.
I feel like you have to be kind of busted to be a quarterback. Like Tebow was too good looking to be
to be a super popular quarterback. Yes.
Look at Brady. Brady's not handsome or attractive. He
was in like 2002.
What happened?
He got old.
I keep forgetting he is like 40 something years old.
Yeah, literally, yeah.
Will General Public go back to the movies, or will we streaming? I still haven't gone back to the movies.
I do not think streaming will kill movie theaters in any way. I think they will always exist. I think the price will go up to the point where it's exorbitant and price out a lot of the general public, but it will still be a niche thing.
Yep.
My next one, I forgot I started this. For semi-horror adjacent, this is the least connected film out of the entire franchise, but they certainly are all connected, and that is the Hannibal franchise. And Manhunter is my favorite one by far. I will say I'm one of the odd ones that I even like the prequel, which really oddly acted and very incestuous in weird ways. Like kid is trying to get with his aunt like hard, or other way around. Aunt is like really hitting on nephew, and it's odd. But this franchise obviously goes really deep for the true crime sort of like detective loving crowd. And obviously everybody talks about Silence of the Lambs, but really Manhunter is where it's at. This is such a stylized film. This has, the bright neon colors. I think it has better characters. I think the story, it goes on a clip that is a little more entertaining, and it's just genuinely, in my opinion, just a better film to sit down and watch.
One of my favorite Michael Mann films.
Oh, agreed, fully.
I mean, I think before Black Hat, every movie that Michael Mann did was just phenomenal. And I think I watched that late. I've always been a Heat fan. I've always been a Collateral fan. But I watched that and Thief as well. I watched that somewhat recently and it just blew me away. G4 is back. It's better to just let some things die.
I agree with that. John, I have not checked out Kino Silence of the Lambs 4K yet. And unfortunately, this is one of those situations where I bought the Criterion too recently and watched it. And now I'm dying to see it on 4K, but not dying it enough to jump in and just completely disrupt everything else I'm watching. So I will watch it soon.
And I agree with Nerd of the 80s. I don't think Black Hat is that bad, but it's comparatively to Michael Mann, what I expect from Michael Mann, not that good.
And Thief is wonderful.
Thief is
absolutely great.
Incredible. Would love a Thief 4K. Thief 4K would be incredible. My next pick is the Godfather trilogy, one of those super limited editions. I got number
50,000,
41,012 out of 45,000.
You barely got in there before it went out of print, huh?
Barely. Is it still in print? I think this might.
No, I think that went out of print about 2018.
Real. I'm gonna look because I guarantee you. I feel like I bought this last year. But I mean, there's something I can say that is going to, persuade you if you haven't seen these movies. It is on Amazon still for $27.
For that specific set?
For the one of 45,000. Yep, it's on Amazon for.
Jesus.
Man, they priced it at $35 as retail. That's a good price.
That's a great price.
Holy shit,
especially
guys,
for that packaging.
Guys, go pick up this box set. Seriously, this is some of the best mafia films of all time. You get amazing performance, like career best performances from some of the greatest actors of all time. Just incredible. I am a little bit of a Godfather 3 apologist. I don't think it's as bad as everyone says it is. I do think Coda is a little bit better. But yeah, the second one is very rarely is a sequel better than the original. And the sequel is one of the greatest films to have ever been made.
Well, and at that price, just go buy Coda and put it in this box set instead of the third one.
I'm sure Coda's probably like what 15 bucks.
I think it was 12 on sale. And
Really?
now that it's about to be Black Friday, I wouldn't be surprised if it was like 8.
That's a good idea. Take 3 out, toss it, and put Coda in there. I heard that they're going to do 4Ks.
Yeah, obviously that should easily be.
Because Coda is a 4K scan.
Right.
So they already did that work. I want a 4K box set of Godfather. I think that would be incredible. You come to me the day of my daughter's wedding. Such a good movie, dude. Used to watch it every Christmas. What's your next pick?
My next one is one that you and I are both apologists for, especially the third film in this franchise.
Okay.
And I really still do not understand the hate that gets thrown at this director. I think that he lets passion show in his films, and he's clearly got a voice, an artistic voice that not a lot of directors do, and that is Rob Zombie's Firefly trilogy. This is, I think, a perfect film, a magnificent film, and then a pretty fun film. And you can't really go wrong with the 3 of those. The third one here, 3 from Hell, obviously has a very different feeling. It does not shine the way the first 2 do, but at the same time, it is clearly Rob Zombie, and it's done in such a great fashion. The acting in the first 2 is perfect, nearly. Especially that first film. I think that there's a couple scenes that could probably have been acted a little better, but the first film is like an actual Grindhouse copy from like the 70s and implanted into the 2000s with the sensibilities of the 90s and 2000s films, and it works so well.
Now, what's your favorite all-time zombie movie?
All-time Rob Zombie film?
Yeah.
I think favorite is probably House of a Thousand Corpses, but best, I think. Oh man, kind of putting me on the spot here. Okay, I'm gonna say it. Probably Lords of Salem.
That's a good pick. Yeah, I think Lords of Salem is his best, because I guess they're all horror movies. I think Lords of Salem is his best horror movie.
Yeah.
My favorite's Devil's Rejects.
It's up there.
Have you ever seen Rob Zombie live?
I have not seen Rob Zombie live. I had an opportunity once, and I think it got rained out, and they weren't allowed to perform. Something like that. Yeah, I've seen so many ridiculous shows like that, and most of the time when I go to shows, it's a lot smaller bands. But the times that I've tried, it just hasn't worked out. And
So,
I agree. I cannot wait to see the Monsters. I just want to throw that out there.
as strict as my mom was growing up, she loved Rob Zombie's music, like loved it, and she loved White Zombie. She wasn't into like rock or metal. She just, whatever reason, his music she fucking loved. Like Dracula is one of her favorite songs. She knows every word, you know. And every time it comes on at work, she's like, "Dig through the ditches and burn through the woods." I mean, I used to play. Was it Twisted Metal 4? In his car, Dracula and Rob Zombie were in that, and it would just play that song over and over again. I love Rob Zombie.
Yep,
he's a Renaissance man.
In a way,
he made the best Halloween movies.
You're saying it as a joke, I think.
I'm not.
But
I saw them.
I gotta be honest,
and I really like both of them.
I do not understand the hate that his movies get. I think that there are horror fanboys that are basically just mad every time there's a remake. And I got to be honest here, I have one franchise in here in my favorites here that is a remake franchise, and I'm only going to be talking about the remake franchise because it's loads better than the original. Remakes can be better, and that is okay. There's nothing wrong with that.
Living Dead Girl. Living a Dead Girl, or however my mom would say it. All great artists get just as much of hate. Yeah, I agree. Trying to think of another. I mean, Zombie is very divisive though. Like, it's weird.
Very.
Like, you have the people that love. I feel like Rob Zombie fans are like the juggalos of horror movie fans. You know, like, have you ever met a juggalo?
No, not in person. I gotta say.
They're weird.
Yes, John, you got me. It's the I Spit on Your Grave for
I knew it was going to be something like that because you said remake trilogy, and I was like,
no, not trilogy, remake franchise. It's a duology.
Is that what you call two movies, a duology?
Yes.
Well, I have a duology for you.
What a segue! You're learning from me. I love it.
Got a duology. Just gonna throw these out there. I think these are the most underrated Shaw Brothers movies, and very rarely do any of the movies go right into each other. But that is The Bastard Swordsman and Return of the Bastard Swordsman.
Nice.
This director directed Holy Flame of the Martial World, and they're fucking bonkers. And the end of the second one, they're full on Dragon Ball Z shooting lasers at each other, and they were filmed in in 84 and 83. So like the special effects are insane for that year, especially in China. But yeah, they're awesome movies. I just want to put that in my selection.
Awesome. Dave is saying that Rob Zombie's design for Grandpa Munster is jarring. The only thing I will say, it's a little odd that he's got the mustache still, but I think it very much works, especially if you look at it through the lens of it's a Rob Zombie film. My next one is one that is only sort of connected if you pay attention. It's kind of like the Tarantino universe, but I think this one's a little more connected, and that is the View Askew universe. I grew up loving everything about Kevin Smith and all of his movies.
What's it called?
The View Askew universe.
I've never heard
his production company at the time was called View Askew, and so the moniker for the connected universe has gotten the title View Askew universe. I love Mallrats. I obviously Clerks is great. I'm one of those people that loves Clerks too. I even went to the Roadshow to watch his most recent Jay and Silent Bob film, and I would say a lot of them are not great movies, but it's one of my favorites, and that's what this is about. And being raised on those, there's just so much that you can say, so much that they work in repeat viewings, and it's I love them. Obviously, if you've never seen it, I would honestly recommend Dogma probably over anything. I think Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back is an incredible comedy. I think that we get so many different views of different genres. Mallrats, obviously, is a really good one to dive into. There's kind of something for everybody in that entire universe, and that's one of the reasons I love it.
Is Tusk part of that universe?
It technically is not, although I got to be honest, I love Tusk.
I do too. That's why I mentioned I love.
I went and saw Tusk in theaters. I was one of like 14 people in the U.S. that did, and it was so good in theaters.
Bizarre movie.
And that's the thing. When we saw it, there had been no reviews. So by the end of the movie, we were just like, what is going on?
John says he hates Dogma, which I don't understand.
John, my man, listen, we have been so like right here for a lot of things, and I don't understand that one.
That's
like
the hottest take I've ever heard in my life.
Obviously, Alanis Morissette is God, but there's so many other things in that film. I mean, Bartleby and Loki are great. You can't pull that away from me. Obviously, you've got Severus Snape acting as a dick in that entire film, and he's so perfect.
Speaking of assholes and dicks,
we got the Taboo series.
No. My next franchise is about a samurai who's a complete fucking prick. 12 movies, same actor. That's the Sleepy Eyes of Death series. I did want to grab all 4 box sets. Each of these sets has 4 DVDs with the movie on each disc. So 1 movie per disc, which is great. This franchise is extremely formulaic, extremely violent. And the main character is a complete asshole. If you guys have seen Sword of Doom, which Criterion put out, the main samurai in that movie is just a prick. Very similar vibes. But you get a 12 film series with the same actor, and he kills it. Some really good action. And they're just like, these types of movies remind me of like serials. Like you would have like movies that just got cranked out.
Story of the week, yeah.
Story of the week. No really connecting through line other than he's a prick. So that's one of my favorite franchises right there.
Nice. I like that. And that's not one that you've spent a lot of time talking about, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, and I mean, another reason why I like this franchise is we'll talk about my favorite franchise later, but Lone Wolf and Cub, the director of 4 of those movies, directed a handful of the Sleepy Eyes of Death movies. He also directed a handful of the Zatoichi movies too. So he's kind of been like all over the place, and like you can tell when it's a film by him because it's a little bit more violent. The action's a little bit tighter. So Sword of Doom is incredible. It is, but specifically, I think it's Kenji Masumi who did 1, 2, 3, and 5 are the movies that he did.
Wow.
So in the Lone Wolf and Cub series. So good. That's my. That's
why that he would have skipped number 4 then.
He didn't do 4 and he didn't do 6. Those were done by different directors. I think he didn't do 4 because he was working on a Zatoichi movie, and then 6 didn't have Kazuo Koike to write on it, and it's a very bizarre movie. And it wasn't supposed to be the last, which we'll talk about. We'll talk about later.
We'll talk about Lone Wolf and Cub for an hour. I get it.
Yes.
So my next one is another duology that we were talking about, and this one is an odd one because the first film gets a ton of respect, highly regarded for a lot of people. The second film gets shit on, and I got to be honest, I don't understand it. I think it's time that people reassess the sequel, and that is 28 Days Later and 28 Weeks Later. And I will say that Danny Boyle is a freaking master in this. Obviously, 28 Days Later has so many things that were revolutionary at the time, and then it turns out to be almost identical to The Walking Dead, the way it started, and that took away from some of it. But then everybody loved the opening to 28 Weeks Later, and then hated everything after that, and I just don't get it. The sequel on this goes a lot deeper than you expect, and I think looking at it through a 2021 lens might be the time that it starts to get some good respect, and I do want both of these on 4K. And the way that they were filmed, I think would transfer to 4K really damn well. And there's a lot of muted colors, but I think this is one that just having the higher resolution alone would do really well. It's kind of similar to like The Mist. I really want The Mist in 4K, but I really want the black and white version of The Mist in 4K. But yes, 28 Days Later, 28 Weeks Later.
I do love those movies quite a bit. Is it the second one where he's running from the countryside, or is it the first one?
That's the opening of the second one.
One of the best openings of all time.
Yes.
Just heart-wrenching.
Agreed.
But yeah, I love those movies. But something that's not heart-wrenching and something that's, a little bit more on the lighter side is the Sabata trilogy. So this is weird because they aren't officially connected because they have 2 actors playing the lead role in 3 films. But this film franchise is a lot of fun. The gimmick here is that there's a lot of like gimmicky weapons. Like there's like a banjo with a gun in it. This was well before the Robert Rodriguez films, where they use a guitar case as a gun. Right. This was decades before. They're funny. They're violent. Yul Brynner's movie gets shit on quite a bit compared to the other 2, because Lee Van Cleef is incredible. But Yul is just, I think he's good. He's got an amazing chest hair. Just an absolute legend.
And getting a lot more respect this year after that Eureka release.
Yeah. I'm really, so these were put out by Kino, and a couple of them were way out of print for a while.
Yep.
But yeah, what's your next pick?
My next one is one that you actually mentioned earlier in the show. And I, again, just like you just said, I don't want to grab all of them, but I did grab the first one, and that is Scream. I honestly don't believe Scream has a bad film in the series at all. I think that they are all good. A couple of them are great. Some of them, being the first one, are masterpieces. the thing that fails here is that because the first one was so revolutionary, all of them inevitably are going to get compared to the first one, and everybody's going to say, well, they're nowhere near as good as the first. Nothing was going to be. Scream 3 is not a bad movie, John. Shut the hell up. Scream 3 is still fun, and it's something that it does have its faults. I will say that easily, but it's still a good movie comparatively for some of these, shit franchises. Scream 3 is a masterpiece compared to, like Leprechaun 7. I mean, come on.
Well, my next pick is the opposite of Leprechaun 7. It's a phenomenal pick. And that is, I love. Do you like my? Do you like my segues?
The first one is good, but yeah, you're getting there.
The Raid 1 and 2.
Yeah,
I really wish we had a boutique release of this. This flimsy box is better, sturdier than Criterion. But these movies are fucking incredible. The best action movies of all time. Period. Hands down. No arguments. Die Hard can suck a dick. Terminator 2 can suck a dick. The Raid 2 is the best action movie of all time. And if you don't agree with me, you're wrong.
I got to be honest, I don't even know that I would say that it's, well, I did say that on a previous one. I was going to say I don't know that it's even the best one in the franchise. I will say it's probably the better film, but I still enjoyed the first one more.
So what's something else that you've enjoyed?
That was pretty good. Everybody knows that I enjoy this one a whole lot because just like Flip has Seven Samurai tattooed on his arm, I've got this tattooed on my arm, and that is the Muppets.
Yeah.
This is literally almost a perfect franchise. Every single film has something about it that is masterfully done, that is top notch for the time. There are some of the films in the franchise that are not great, primarily Muppets Most Wanted. But even then, there are fun things in that, and Henson and everything that was related to the family is amazing. They have, the big thing is the amount of impact they had on cinema as a whole. I adore everything about them. So, Labyrinth and all of the puppetry that they've put elsewhere is just, they can't even be touched. This question from Dave, where would you put Edgar Wright's Cornetto trilogy? If they were actually linked, they would have been in my list because I love all three of them. I think I've got one of the hotter takes compared to most people nowadays in that I think The World's End is the best film of those three.
Now, another trilogy that I really enjoy, the last one being, I think, the best, is the Mikogami trilogy. So this is I've talked about this before, but this is 3 Chambara films. The first one had a very low budget. There's no blood or anything, no gore, but the fights were really cool, and the main character is very charismatic, just a very charismatic actor, and his look is really cool. He's got like a black. He's like wrapped in black all over. He's got a white outfit over it, and he's got his wife's scarf that he uses as a belt because she was killed, and it's red. So he's got this very, I think, iconic look on the front there. Second movie, amazing, and then the third movie, Slaughter in the Snow, is just incredible. And it
love
does
that title.
Slaughter. Yeah, well, the titles are The Trail of Blood, The Fearless Avenger, and then Slaughter in the Snow, which is just. They were all made in the same. Oh, they were all made within a year time. It was 72, 72, 73. You could tell that they wanted to do more because the main conflict is never, it's never finished. Like he doesn't get his revenge, but it does that thing, and which I think, like Sleepy Eyes of Death does, Lone Wolf does, Zatoichi does, is that it introduces really cool characters that are so cool they could have had their own franchises based off of them. And they're just there for a second. And like, I love that. Like the Raid does that really well with the Hammer Girl and the Baseball Batman. I love when movies do that. This box set is like $300.
Jesus.
For some stupid reason. It's just DVDs. The DVDs themselves are hundreds of dollars a piece. Slaughter in the Snow alone is insane. But if you can find this for about $80, I would say jump on it because they're great movies, or just download them illegally.
I love somebody, John said Muppets Christmas Carol's a classic. Obviously, I think more people need to pay attention to Muppets Treasure Island. Amazing. Great puppets and Farscape. Agreed there. And then SJ
Wait.
brought up
Farscape's a TV show?
I believe they did a TV show, and then I think they did a movie as well.
No, there's a Farscape television show that used puppets, but
Yeah.
is that what you're talking about? Okay.
Yeah.
'Cause I thought you meant the Muppets did a crossover with Farscape.
No. The Henson family did the puppets for Farscape.
Okay, I was about to say because they have a very similar vibe.
And then SJ brought up Emmett Otter is also great.
And then
That's the thing about the Henson family. They touch so much. Even just look at Sesame Street. Everywhere they've infiltrated, that's all Henson.
And then if you guys want some good martial arts puppets, there's a incredible show called Thunderbolt Fantasy. It's on Crunchyroll. There's 3 seasons and 2 movies, and they are puppets, and they're doing insane things. I like to just send fight scenes to Ryan every once in a while. So in Taiwan, I guess puppetry is still like a very respected art form. And there's multiple television shows where it's puppets. And there's been one since the 80s called Pili, which is also the name of the company's. Pili is Pili. And they've been doing shows every year since the 80s. There's like 40, 50 seasons, whatever. And then Geno Ibuchi, who is the creator of the Fate series, which if you're even remotely into anime, you've probably heard of that. Psycho Pass. He went over to Taiwan, saw an episode of Pili, and was like, I want to do that. And now his passion project is Thunderbolt Fantasy, where they aren't making money. It's just he's doing it literally. He's funding it as a passion project because he had a story written out that will cover 5 seasons. They just announced season 4. They're like 10 episodes apiece. They're 45 minutes each episode. They're incredible. Netflix has a show called Pili War of the Dragons, the first season, and that is a retelling of season 6 of Pili that has better special effects. And then if you guys watch Cartoon Network, Woolen Warriors from back in the day they used Pili puppets. So Kyle says it's sick. Those fight scenes are over the top. So they are incredibly cool. One of my favorite, Kyle Bowen. Isn't that the name of one of the people from Easy Allies? That's a cool name.
No idea about that. But Kyle's actually a friend of mine in real life.
Oh, really?
He's literally my closest friend.
I like that smile. He looks very friendly.
He's extremely friendly. Speaking of people that you don't want to make friends with, I'm trying to do a flip segue there. It didn't work. I wanted to include a modern horror franchise, and I couldn't think of one that is still ongoing that I love as much as this one. And the only reason I say that is because my last one, I don't really count it as ongoing. I don't really count it as ongoing anymore, even though they just kind of put out a new film semi-recently. So that is, I love the Hatchet series.
I think the Hatchet series too.
I think that all of them have been great. I think that they are a hell of a lot of fun. I think that the work that gets put into them, it really plays on the tropes of some of the classic slashers. But the big thing is the villain is genuinely iconic. It is something that is, I hope, lasting. I genuinely hope he puts out another 2 or 3 at least of these.
Now, is Kane Hodder on all of them?
He has been Victor Crowley in all 4.
That's awesome. That's an incredible franchise. And you know what else is an incredible franchise?
That was better.
Is Hanzo the Razor. Fucking
Nice.
These movies are insane. Like insane. And it's so funny to see Shotaro Katsu, which we'll talk about later, because he's known for a more nicer character that he plays. Play a total Chad. And his cock is ginormous. It doesn't like really show it, but his cock is so big that when he interrogates people, he likes to stand really close to them and kind of thrust his cock in their face. And just fun action, fun sexploitation, violent. It's awesome. And you know what else is awesome is Ryan's next pick.
Let's see. That remake duology I talked about. I think it's finally time to talk about those. And this is another one that it's weird to talk about remakes and say the original and not mean the one that was made in like the 70s or 80s. So the original of the remake, I think, is obviously the better film, but the sequel is still very good. People need to watch the new The Hills Have Eyes, the original and the sequel. The original being the remake, and then the sequel to that remake. These are both really well done. I think one of the things that really gets to me, and if Kyle has seen this, he can agree wholeheartedly. This looks just like the one that this looks like the place where I grew up. Everything about the desert, it looks like it was filmed in our hometown. And it's creepy as hell to imagine that something like this could be happening where I used to walk around through the desert. We used to have like our bus stop before school. We would build little rock paths through the desert for stuff like this, and it was just it's fantastic. And this film, the remake itself is genuinely creepy and dirty and brutal as all hell. And then the sequel, it steps in, and it's not as good, but it's still a hell of a lot of fun, and still pretty damn brutal too. Have you seen either one of these?
Nope.
You probably wouldn't like them. I gotta be honest.
I wouldn't like them.
I don't think so.
Why?
They just don't seem like it'd be your bag.
Well, that's not very nice. Do you want to talk about one more? Because I think you have a couple more than
I still have 4 left.
I have 3. So do one more, and then we can. It'll be
okay. I will do another animated one. Really great franchise done with some really great voice work, and again, the original gets a lot of love, but I think that the quality was fairly high for this entire series. This is going to be an odd pick, and I don't even think we've ever talked about this before, but that is Shrek. I genuinely love Shrek. I genuinely think it is very well made, and this first film especially is so much fun, so iconic. But I mean, the sequels they're rad.
They are rad. I do like Shrek. That just took me off guard.
Exactly, and I tried to throw some on here that would be a little out of character.
Well, it's not out of character. Is my next pick, because this is very on point and very on brand for me. But I wanted to pick a Yakuza franchise, right? And I do think the better franchise is the Battles Without Honor and Humanity series.
Oh.
I think they are better films. I think those films would be worthy of a quote unquote Criterion release, because I think they are about as artsy as you can get for Yakuza films. And I think obviously Fukusaku is just an incredible director. But these movies I return to more because they're consistent. They're consistent in the action, the blood, and every single movie has like the last 20 minutes are just bonkers insane. And that is the Outlaw Gangster VIP collection. I adore this collection. When I was getting into boutique Blu-rays, I saw this. This was still in print.
Yeah,
it was in print for a couple of years, for a long time. 3,000 copies. It's one of the only boxes that they put out that's not a hard case, but still thick, nice cardboard, better than Criterion. You get 6 movies, and all of them are, like I said, they're consistently good. Like there's not a bad movie in the set. I think number 4, which I think is key. Let me see here. I don't think it's good. I don't think it says on the back. So Goro the Assassin is the one I don't like the most, but it's still a good movie. I like the character of Goro. I think the actor who plays him is extremely charismatic, and Arrow did an incredible job with these 6 films, and that's the prime example of why I love Arrow. They did a franchise that is not very well known. That's not, they don't have. There's people that love these movies, but it took years for 3,000 copies to sell out when they're selling out of Daimajin and Yokai Monsters much quicker now. I highly recommend you guys hunt this down, or get the Arrow video channel. They have all these movies on there. They're great. A lot of good special features, and a nice book as well. So yeah, and they're all short: 93, 97, 92, 87, 86, and 86 minutes. So super quick, and this is a region-free set, A, B, and
Nice.
C. I recommend that wholeheartedly.
Speaking of yokai monsters, if anybody is still looking for that, I've not checked in a couple hours, but around 8 o'clock tonight, Hamilton Book still had some yokai monsters collections in, and they were only $60.
Damn.
And that is out of print already, and will be more than 100. Probably already is on eBay.
Now, the fact that sold out is so shocking to me.
Everything from Arrow is selling out.
Because I don't think they're bad movies. It's just, what the fuck?
Well, and remember too, because it's more of an obscure title for them, the print run is going to be less than some of the other titles.
That's true.
Like Legend probably got like literally like an 8,000 print run or 10,000 print run. Yokai probably got, I wouldn't be surprised if it was only 2,000 or 3,000.
And then Daimajin got how much?
I think that was I think it was 3,000 here and 3,000 in the UK.
And that sold out on release day. 2 retailers. Yep. So that's wild. You know what else?
The other one, from what I'm hearing, Phantom of the Mall is already sold out at retailers as well.
That's not even out.
It is literally like about to be out, and yes, it's not even eligible to be ordered anymore for retailers.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Was that like a hot item? Like, did people want that movie?
That movie has been sought out for a long time, but also it's one of Pauly Shore's first films.
Pauly Shore's in a horror movie? Huh. Steven Tyler PJs.
I love Pauly Shore.
Another
thing I love is George A. Romero's Dead trilogy, and this is my favorite of the three.
That's a hot take.
It is a hot take compared
to
what
most people say.
Is that
the one where the zombie's intelligent and they're like trying
yes.
to? Okay, that's a great movie. Yes.
I obviously Night of the Living Dead is great, and Dawn of the Dead is great, and Day of the Dead is great. But I think Day of the Dead is best primarily because of everything that they are able to do with dialogue in this film. Romero has always been pretty good with dialogue, but everything in this is top notch. I think this is Romero at all of his hitting points. The big thing about the original three is that they each, like we talked about earlier in the show, has something to say, and all three of them really go deep into something that is deeper than most horror films. And one of the other things about the entire trilogy, I will say, is Night of the Living Dead has one of the I won't really call it a twist, but one of the most not even shocking endings, but like ironic endings that really just gut punches you. Dawn of the Dead is a masterpiece primarily in their set design and the way that they really take over that mall. And then Day of the Dead, it's crazy what they're able to accomplish in that film. And the gore in the end of that movie is just top notch.
And I even like stuff like was it Land of the Dead? The one where it's a found footage movie, Diary of the Dead. I even like those movies too.
They're all right. I really didn't love any of the other ones, especially like Survival of the Dead was pretty bad.
I haven't seen that.
But they're still Romero, and in a lot of ways you can still tell. But after Day, he was a little bit past what he needed to do with zombies.
Now, my next pick is a Criterion release. My next two are Criterion releases. As much as we should on, I think this has been their best box set that they've ever produced. It's not crazy. It's not a crazy size. It's got 25 movies, and that is the Zatoichi set. This, I still think, if you can get this on 50% off, is the greatest $100 you'll ever spend.
It is kind of a crazy size still.
But it's not Bergman. Right. It's not, if it's a fit on the shelf crazy size. It's not Bergman or Fellini, or Wong Kar-wai. It folds out. It's got a nice book with it. 25 movies. So this isn't all of the Zatoichi movies. There was one more that Shintaro Katsu did that was years later. I think he did it in like 88. It was his final movie. I think it's called Darkness is His Ally. And then it got rebooted with Takeshi Kitano. And that one used a lot of CG blood. and then they also did a female version of Zatoichi called Ichi, which is great. Love that movie. But this movie spawns an unofficial Zatoichi cinematic universe, and it's got a lot of crossover films. So there's one with Yojimbo. Do you have the out of? No, I do not.
Neither do I.
I wish. This has got a couple crossovers. It's got Zatoichi versus Yojimbo, and then it's got one of my favorites, Zatoichi versus the One-Armed Swordsman, which I forgot to grab. That is one of my favorite franchises. It's over there. One-Armed Swordsman's fantastic. Chang Che, Jimmy Wing Yu in the first two, and then Chang Che reboots it with a new actor, and it's just as good as the original. Fucking great. But these movies, very much like Sleepy Eyes of Death, are very formulaic, Monster of the Weeks type storytelling, but they're so good, so full of charm. Holy fuck.
And that was in print for like 3.5 years.
That's insane. But yeah, so full of charm. There's not a bad movie in the set. There are movies that are better than some of them, but for technically 26 film franchise, not a bad movie is wild to have. And like I was saying, the Zatoichi cinematic universe, which I'm going to start watching next year. I'm going to do a big watch through again, because Yojimbo's in it. Yojimbo and Sanjuro are part of it. The One-Armed Swordsman trilogy is a part of it. So that means any movie with the One-Armed Swordsman, even the knockoffs, are included. And I have the television shows for this and my other pick. Lone Wolf and Cub appears in the background of the Zatoichi movies. So all the Lone Wolf and Cub movies are part of it. And then there's a Taiwanese called Zatoichi versus the Flying Guillotine. So all the Flying Guillotine movies are a part of the trilogy, or a part of the cinematic universe. And it gets crazy. It gets wild. And then and then you have the American remake with the Italian remake with the Dollars trilogy. So all of those are in there. Sartana's in there.
Then Django gets tied in.
Django's tied in. It gets crazy. This is where I cut it off. There is a fan-made project called Zatoichi versus Predator. I'm not including Predator, which you guys should watch. It's like maybe 10 minutes on YouTube. It's incredible. But yeah, that's when I bought that box set. Does Lady Blood? No, she does not. That would be sick though. That's a good franchise. But yeah, we're gonna talk about more about Zatoichi in a second with my other pick. With my
I wonder what it is.
I wonder what it is, guys. So, what is your what's your final pick?
I've got two left still. I've got runner up and then your final one. For my out of the box one that we have never talked about on the show together, I decided to go for another animated franchise that I think, if I'm not forgetting anything, I would probably say is the best animated franchise of all time. Easily, in my opinion, the quality is up there for Toy Story.
Oh, that's a good point.
I grew up on this, obviously, and you talk about that one having 26 films in it. I think the big thing for this is having 4 films across 26 years, and they are all
Don't
like.
Oh man.
The fact that they are all easily, like, you could say they're 95% and above on Rotten Tomatoes, and not like even, yeah, of course they're 95% above, and that's not even a question. It's all 4 of them are so well made. Obviously Pixar has grown since 1994, but the fact that Toy Story 4 can come out and have you seen Toy Story 4?
No.
So one of the opening scenes is a rain scene outside of the house, and it is shocking how good it looks in animation. It is crazy what they're able to pull off, and the stories are so good. And yeah, I can talk about Toy Story all day.
When 3 came out, I took my little cousins, took like 4 of them to go see it. They've never seen Toy Story before, and when they're about to die, I am weeping. And my cousin Nino looked over at me and goes, "Why are you crying, Popo?" Because that's what they used to call me. And I was like, "Because this is so sad. I grew up with these movies before even when you're younger than you guys." And he goes, "Grow up." And I was like, I just got told by an 8-year-old to grow up.
Dave, I love Scooby-Doo, but there's way too many iterations of Scooby-Doo.
I love Scooby-Doo. But yeah, dude, Toy Story, Pixar is one of those companies where like even their movies like The Good Dinosaur, which like didn't hit with me, are still solid. They're still good.
It's still a good movie.
But man, I still haven't seen the fourth one because Taylor, we have a promise we'll only watch Pixar movies with each other, so I can't watch it without her. I don't think she's seen it. But it seems like the last 2 years we've been gifted. Like they still feel like a event.
Yep.
You know, they used to feel like a major event. But even now with, you know, Coco and Luca and what they had another one like Soul. Just fucking 3 incredible movies.
And I think the big thing with those is, you know, speaking of people unnecessarily calling things woke, the fact that they are 3 films really focusing on a culture of somebody that does not get highlighted enough. All 3 of them are just amazing. Coco blew me the hell away.
Soul and Coco specifically, and even Luca, tackle some pretty heavy fucking themes for a kids movie. Taylor and I, because we watched them with the kiddo, and it's like this is the perfect example of something being goofy and cute, but then also being deep for the kids. I mean deep for the adults.
Right. The toys coming after Sid in Toy Story 1 is very terrifying. There's so many scenes in the entire franchise that are just shocking, the emotions that they're able to get through.
I think Sid is misunderstood.
I think he's an underrated villain as well.
I think Sid's a good guy. I want to be his friend.
That makes sense.
Who else I want to be friends with is the Shogun's executioner, Ogami Ito. My favorite film franchise of all time will probably be no surprise to anyone who's watched.
Who would have guessed?
Second of this channel is Lone Wolf and Cub, and it's like a meme at this point how much I love this franchise. But I'm actually rereading the manga right now, which is incredible. But these movies do something that I think is really tough to do. I'm just going to put that. It's not going to show up. But anyways, these movies do something that I think is really tough to do, where you can be exploitative and still have a heart. And across 6 movies, we get some of the best action sequences ever put to film. Some of the best special practical effects ever. Like a guy gets his head clean cut, blood spray. It's beautiful. But there's a lot of like sadness of what could have been. So Tamasaburo Wakayama, who played Ogami Ito, is the brother of Shintaro Katsu, who played Zatoichi. And he, for years, wanted a franchise like his brother. He tried in numerous things. He tried in a bunch of different samurai films, but nothing stuck. So he auditioned for the role for this movie. He went to the mangaka's house because he heard that they were going to be filming this movie. And he's a portly man. If you've ever seen Lone Wolf and Cub, he's not in the best shape, but he can move like he's very athletic. He went to Kazuo Koike's house, who's the creator of Lone Wolf and Cub, and said, "You need to cast me in your movie," and started doing backflips, started doing, twists and turns and flips. He brought a fake sword and he showed him, because one of the coolest parts is every time Ogami Ito kills someone, he does that flicks the blood off and then puts it back in the sheath. And that's really hard to do. And he practiced doing that. So this film franchise becomes fucking massive. And they said, you know what? We're going to do the same thing that we did with Zatoichi. Literally copying the playbook from Zatoichi. We're going to make a TV show. And Tamasaburo Wakayama said, I want to be in the TV show or I'm never playing Ogami Ito again. This was coming up towards the end of filming the 6th one. They said no. They said, no, we're never, you're not going to be cast in the TV show. And he thought it was bullshit. He's like, my brother got the TV, which Shintaro Katsu, 26 movies of Zatoichi, over 100 episodes of television as Zatoichi. Like, it was his franchise. It was his life. And Wakayama wanted that as well. So they said no. And what could have been is we could have had, because the plan was to have Lone Wolf and Cub be as long as Zatoichi, like 20 films. And it didn't happen. And the 6th one ends. I think it ends on an incredible battle scene in the snow. It's beautiful. The baby car has machine guns in it. It's fucking crazy. and it ends on such a spectacle, but the main plot line, yes, they did make the 6 movies in like 3 years, and the main plot line is never resolved. So if you only see the movies, you're going to be like, oh man, very similar to the Mikogami trilogy. But then they went on and did the TV show, which ran for 77 episodes. A little bit of a different vibe. It's a little bit more faithful to the manga. And I actually this year finished the television show, and the last season is literally one big battle against the Yagu clan. Like, it's just a perfect end season. There are technically 3 seasons, but back then it was like fucking 30 episodes a season. Incredible TV show. There are TV show movies. Tomosaburou Wakayama actually comes back and plays the villain in a movie which condenses the plot lines of all 6 of them with a new actor playing Lone Wolf, and then Wakayama plays the bad guy. So he does eventually come back. There's a movie. No, there's a TV show from 2002 which I can't find anything about other than it existed for 1 season. And apparently it was bad. But the original TV series is amazing. It's a lot of fun. And it's one of those things where, like, I wish I could have a whole tattooed sleeve of Lone Wolf and Cub stuff, because like I genuinely love these movies. They're comfort food. People usually watch comedies for comfort food, but I like to watch these movies for comfort food. It's like, like you sit down, you watch these, and they're just nothing else feels like them that I've seen so far in my life. They're very unique, and I think this is my favorite Criterion release ever. Just overall,
of course,
incredible. It also includes a nice new transfer of Shogun's Assassin, which is how we got it. Which, by the way, the guy who did Shogun's Assassin, who like spliced the movies together, he bought the entire franchise rights in the 80s for $50,000.
Brilliant.
Fucking awesome. But yeah, I highly recommend you guys pick this up. This is what $40?
Yeah, I believe
enough. $40 for 6 great movies. Like, not a bad movie in here. Fucking great. Go pick it up.
SJ brought up Watership Down and The Plague Dogs as 2 fantastic dark animated movies. Completely agree. Have you seen either of those?
I've seen Watership Down, yeah.
Watership Down is great. Out on Criterion, if anybody was wondering.
Is
Plague Dogs, yeah, from like 2015. Plague Dogs is out on Shout Select. Another really good one. Plague Dogs is crazy good. Nerd says, I tell my fiance that films are a reflection of real life. For me, I don't call a film woke. I'm just not a fan when a film tries too hard to take itself serious. I agree with that to a point, but I would say there's a difference between taking itself too serious and having a message. And nowadays, if something has a message, it's immediately deemed woke, which doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Some of these films, they've had messages for the last 110 years, and it's ridiculous to think that it's a brand new thing.
I want to highlight the Twitch comment there. Anamigo did, not Criterion. Anamigo had the rights to Lone Wolf. They put them out on. They put most of them out on Laserdisc. They put them out individually on DVD, and then a nice box set. Same with Zatoichi. Anamigo Samurai Cinema. I mean, this was also part of that. And they also did Lady Snowblood as well. I think they were way ahead of their time. Like, they had their ear to the ground of what was great, and they were putting stuff out that we now, herald as the best of the best. So,
right.
And there's still a lot of stuff that's stuck behind Anamigo only DVDs, which I would love to see get a Blu-ray release. Like Samurai Banners is a fucking epic that's, just has crazy set pieces, just as crazy as Ron or Kagemusha. So
I'm curious. I just plain don't know about this, but is there a UK release of that series at all?
Lone Wolf and Cub?
Yeah.
So I don't know about that release specifically, but
not of the Criterion release, of any release of that series.
When Shogun Assassin came out, it was the first 2 movies spliced together. I think there are 4 Shogun Assassin movies. The other 3 came out in the UK. So UK people, like, we don't know about Shogun Assassin 1, 2, and 3, and 4. The UK people do, because that came out over there.
I was just thinking out loud. I think it'd be really nice to see an Arrow UK release of that series.
It'd be
Lone
awesome.
Wolf and Code.
I would import that in a fucking heartbeat. I want to talk about some announcements.
Can I share my last franchise?
Oh
first?
shit, yeah.
That's right. Sorry.
Sardis just finished Son of the White Mare, Hungarian animated film. That sounds super interesting. I feel like I just heard about that recently. But my last franchise, I had to go horror, and I had to go. I won't say that this is necessarily my favorite, though. If I had to choose, it would probably be up there as one of the top three. This is one that I went to almost all of them on opening day, and it holds such a special place because most of those times I went with my now wife. And a lot of people are going to shit all over this because they think it sucks, but I adore Saw, and I think Saw is easily one of the best franchises of all time. Saw is one of those series that you can dive into the lore and get lost, but not in a way because it's super muddy, but because everything is so connected that it gets a little bit hard to follow unless you're really paying attention. And even then, yes, there are a couple lines of plot that don't necessarily connect when you follow all of the strings, but it tries really hard, and for the most part, it is successful. There are a couple in the series that are not great. Jeff asks, did you like Spiral? I will say an easy yes. I liked Spiral. It feels like a Saw movie. I also think Chris Rock fucking killed it.
I was going to say, I want Chris Rock to do more serious roles.
I don't think he took away anything from that film whatsoever. I think he, if anything, was maybe just a little too tense for that. Not too tense, sorry. I think he was a little too intense for that script. I think that with a better script, he would have been a little more tight with it. I think that it's an interesting idea, but obviously it strayed a little from the original franchise. And that's why I said I feel like the franchise is done. And that's fine. I don't necessarily need more Saw films, but I'm not one of those people that say if they reboot it or if more come out, I'm going to be upset or anything like that. That's ridiculous. But I love Saw, and this is one that I think now that it's been a little bit further away from the genesis of the entire franchise, I think more people can go back and actually appreciate some of the later films. Like Saw 2 is not as revolutionary as Saw 1, but it is genuinely probably as close to as good of a film as the first one. And they really don't start getting into the torture porn aspect that they're so closely associated with until about Saw 3. The first two are brutal by all means. They're not like wimpy films or anything like that, but they are not this torture porn extravaganza that people talk about them, like something like Hostel, where that's the only thing that they're really made for. And it's hard to grasp when you're not super deep into the franchise like that.
I like Saw quite a bit. I think Spiral was a good movie.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about some announcements real quick because talking about samurai movies. Film Movement is putting out Samurai Wolf and Samurai Wolf 2. And they're also putting out, by the same director, Violent Streets, Hideo Gosha, which I've talked about before.
Yeah.
And I've said I want more Hideo Gosha films. And I box set would be sick. I think the movie that he's most known for is Three Outlaw Samurai, which I think is his worst movie that I've seen. It's still a good movie, but Gyoken and those movies that are coming out are just phenomenal. So really excited that there's going to be more Hideo Gosha really soon.
They're doing a lot right now as a company. Film Movement's doing really well.
Really?
Yeah.
Are they boutique?
I mean, by definition, I would say a boutique is literally just a company putting out movies that is not the studio. So,
well, I don't have anything else to talk about. I think I'm all talked out.
Jeff pointed out that my marriage is a romance birthed in blood. I love that comment. And then, I did ask in a little ticker going across the bottom here, what's everybody's favorite franchises? Zach here says his are Terminator, Hellraiser. Hellraiser is fucking wild. I love Hellraiser. My only problem with Hellraiser, some of them are truly awful near the end. But the big thing, if you track down the Hellraiser comics, that's when that franchise gets amazing. Zatoichi, Lone Wolf and Cub, Indiana Jones trilogy, yes, great. But then, of course, there is that fourth film. I love Shia LaBeouf. What was that word? I love Shia LaBeouf. I do not love refrigerator explosions. The Apu trilogy, The Raid, and Evil Dead, of course. I have not seen The Bunny Game. Have you seen this?
No.
I feel like I've heard of that. Sardis, who put out The Bunny Game? Did somebody put that out recently? Because I wanted that, and I don't remember who. Indiana Jones and the Mad Max series, both clearly getting more attention nowadays, primarily because of recent 4K releases. So really good time to be a fan of both of those. This is one. I love the Final Destination franchise. This almost made my list.
And then we got Female Prisoner Scorpion right below that, which
Yep. I was shocked you didn't include that one.
I almost did. Almost did. Mad Max, I'm kind of sad I didn't choose Mad Max.
Are you a fan of all of them?
Love them. I think Return of Thunderdome is awesome as fuck. I think the first one's the worst one.
That is one of the only franchises that is a clear worst one.
It's just so boring.
And I will say, like, the moment Fury Road was announced, I was scared that it was going to ruin a giant franchise. And then Fury Road came out, and my God, what a masterpiece.
I took a friend to that movie, and he had never seen any of them before, and he was like, "Who's that? What's that?" I'm like, "Just shut the fuck up. I don't know. Just shut up."
Dave says, Mission Impossible and Fast and Furious are my movie crack. Fun and plain and simple, even the bad ones.
I love Fast and the Furious. I'm going to use the restroom real quick. Be right back.
Shoot.
But Fast and the Furious is incredible. Except for Hobbs and Shaw. Fuck that.
I have heard there's a new Final Destination movie coming. I cannot wait to see that. And that's a series that I wish would get like a Scream Factory box set. And I think some of the early releases had some decent extras, but I would love to get some follow-up interviews, the impact the films had on other movies coming out along that time, because that series really did have a lot of impact. Nerd says, The Raid, Ip Man, another one that I'm honestly shocked that Flip did not select. Ip Man, Lethal Weapon, Godfather, The Street Fighter, to name a few. Nice. Oh, there we go. Automony Pictures released the Bunny Game. I'm gonna have to look that one up. I hope that's still readily available, because I'd heard that it was great, and I wanted to see it for sure. With the Ip Man, I was shocked that Flip didn't choose that. I was also shocked he didn't choose the Vengeance trilogy. I wonder if he just forgot about it, because that was one I really saw being one of his top couple, and it wasn't even on the list, which is crazy. I had some others that I was running through on if I wanted to include them. The Fly was up there. I think out of the big slashers, I probably was closest to saying Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Sarda says he liked the Star Blazers, and Jeff thought I would say the Avengers. No, I'm not a huge MCU fanboy like that. Like, I've seen them all, and I genuinely like all of them, probably. I think that they're good, but like, I haven't even watched the TV series that have come out for them. I don't know. There's just a whole lot. I will say, now that Jeff and Dave are both bringing up the MCU, I think the MCU is probably the most successful franchise of all time, and not even just money-wise, just the connecting of everything and keeping the quality up for all of them when it's such a large scope, by all means. Oh man, that is a really good answer there, Sardis. The Quatermass films from everything is really great.
Can you highlight Dave's comment right above that?
Yep.
It's because they're trash.
Oh, shut up, Scorsese Jr.
No, for real. They're so bad, dude. They're just trash.
Let me see. There they go.
I don't like. I mean, it's cool if you like them, but like, I have never rewatched a Marvel movie except for maybe once.
See, and I've watched all of them at least twice.
I can't. They're good. You watch it, and then you forget about it.
Oh, I didn't even see this comment. Jeff said, or Halloween for me. I would say with Halloween, they're Gosh, I'm not even going to have the count right now. What is there? 12 films that have come out now, I think, for Halloween, including the remake and 2018 and Halloween Kills. I do think that there are probably 6 or 7 that are genuinely really good, but overall, it's the bad ones are just really bad. Yeah, and nerd, yes, 11 years for the MCU is a long time. And again, I'll just say the fact that they're able to keep the quality up for that long is impressive for Hollywood, especially.
I am burnt out on Marvel. Yes, I am very burnt out on Marvel.
I completely understand that.
I haven't even seen any of Phase 4.
The new Doctor Strange, especially considering that Sam Raimi is directing it, that sounds incredible.
Whoa.
SJ, speaking of Kolchak, that is one. My copy is still not in yet, and I cannot wait for it. Kolchak is great.
$55. What is Kolchak?
It is a TV series.
Oh, okay. I was like, man, that's $55. That's a lot.
Jeff, a lot of people would agree with you that Transformers is trash. Let's see. From Twitch, do you consider the Mummy franchise as horror?
Indiana Jones with a horror tinge.
Yeah, I would say it has horror elements. Certainly not a horror franchise. But overall, honestly, really enjoyable as a franchise.
The Rock and some terrible CG.
Yes, by all means.
That was a big deal when that movie came out. Like, The Rock is in this movie. It's like, whoa.
Well, and the big thing is because it was either his first film at all, but I think the big deal is that he was headlining it. But, I mean, Brendan Fraser was incredible.
He still is.
I just meant in that franchise. Yes, of course he is.
I love him.
Nerd, this was on my list as well. Tremors is one of my favorites of all time. I adore Tremors.
I forgot.
Yeah. And we were talking about things that you forgot. Somebody mentioned Ip Man. I was surprised you didn't say Ip Man. Hot take. I think the Ip Man franchise is overall not very good. I think the first movie is good. Third one's fun. 2 and 4 are bad. The other one that while you were gone, I said, I was shocked you didn't say the Vengeance trilogy.
I almost did, but I was like, these aren't connected. You know, officially. So I almost chose that because those movies are perfect. But I decided not to. It was in my hands. That and Female Prisoner Scorpion were in my hands. I was like, do I pick these? Because I thought we were just doing 5. And then Ryan's like, we're doing 13. And I was like, whoa.
I couldn't narrow it down. And I don't want to be just the horror guy. So I wanted to get as much as I could because I watch a lot of stuff.
I don't. I'm very much in my genres.
You really are.
And that's fine with me. It's kind of funny. But what
Eric, I do think a lot of people would say that's a TV series.
TV series I've been watching Bosch still.
Nice.
Love it. Still hooked on it. Good police procedural. Makes you want to be a cop. ACAB, all cops are beautiful. No, just kidding. But it's a great show. Fantastic show. Still thinking about that movie where the bitch fucks a car. What was that movie called?
Titan.
Titan, yeah. Just a messed up movie. Oh, fuck, I forgot those. God damn it. Yeah. Fuck, dude. And the Matrix movies. God, the Veroni Kitchen. Oh my God, you guys know me better than me. The Kitchen films are genuinely some of the. I think they are the best anime / second best manga adaptations because Lone Wolf and Cub's up there for me. I think they're just incredible. The fight choreography is insane. It's amazing. Which you need to watch.
Here we go, the weekly attack.
So, all right, at some month next year, we have to plan each other a month where we write each other's watches and we have to follow them. So, like, let's say for a month we each pick 10 films, which isn't too bad. It's not like a film a night.
Yeah.
We should do that at some point.
Yeah. We've talked about that before.
Fox. The Immortal Red Fox.
Sardis, I have not seen Da Vinci's Demons yet. What's going on, Red Fox?
I need to get you into Tokusatsu.
I mean, I've got some of them here.
What do you got? Okay.
Name them. I will checklist them.
Ultraman.
I don't anymore. I did have them, but I don't anymore. I got rid of them.
Damn, Ryan.
I do still have. I think. Yeah, I can reach up and grab it. I've got the Ultraman Lego figure.
That's cool. What's that look like?
It is, I believe, one of the creators from Ultraman that did some work on Godzilla was at HorrorCon, CryptCon KC in 2019.
That's adorable. I want that. Fuck, that's cute.
And you're going to love this. He also was giving away these.
That's cute. Now, Immortal Red Fox says you should watch Hokkaido, and of course his stuff. His stuff is good. Hokkaido is a really interesting movie, Ryan. I think you would like it. It's a little, I wouldn't say it's a full-blown horror, but it's got this like tinge of horror to it.
Right.
It's called, the full name is Mechanical Violator Hokkaido. That's a great name. But I highly recommend Hokkaido. It's very trippy. It's good.
Jeff brought up Blade Runner. This is one that I was surprised didn't get mentioned at all tonight. I don't know why the original never really stuck with me.
Yeah, me either. I don't like. What game are we playing?
What's going on, Jeremy? We are talking favorite franchises. And sadly, obviously, now that you're 2 hours late to the start of the show, I've already gone over my list. This is most of them. And then Flip went over a bunch of his as well.
I can talk about Lone Wolf and Cub again, Jeremy, if you want me to.
You can just watch all of the episodes we've ever recorded.
Best franchise ever. So my theory is that you're scared to watch them because you're going to get hooked like I am. You're like, I'm scared to watch them. I'll never watch them because you're scared you're going to get hooked.
I'm certainly not scared. I adore cinema like that, and I know I'm going to love them. My problem is I'm probably going to not necessarily get hooked, but want to watch all of them back to back. And I can't really commit to something like that. And it's hard because like my wife and I, this is going to sound silly, but we set out to watch all of the Halloween films literally like 2 years ago. And it took about 14 months to get through all of them. And not just because it's draining, but because we watch so much stuff.
Ryan would become a tall version of Flip if you watched.
So what? I'd have to be like 5'5".
I'm taller than 5'5". You prospector. I'm a whole inch taller.
While wearing shoes.
Hey, fuck off, all right, man? What qualifies a franchise? Just 2 or more movies.
All we were saying was 2.
And they have to be somewhat connected. I was talking when I wanted to do Westerns, I picked Sartana because they're like official. There's no official sequel to Django. Well, wait, no, there technically is, but
then even like one of mine was the Romero Dead trilogy, which really are not connected necessarily.
That's true. Who's your
Eric? I got to be honest, that sounds incredible to see Blade Runner with a real 70mm work print. That sounds amazing.
I don't like Blade Runner, man. I mean, I
get that type of film doesn't really hit for everybody.
2049 I liked a lot, but I didn't like the original. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe I'm just an idiot. It took me a month to watch all of Ingmar Bergman.
But on the other hand, that's a lot of films. Like Halloween, when it came out, I think Halloween 2018 had just come out when we started. And so that was, I think, the 11th film. And it still took us like 18 or 14 months or whatever to get through all of them.
Damn.
Took Sardis 4 weeks to get through all of Satyajit Ray's films in chronological order. Damn. Jeremy would say Austin Powers and Wayne's World. I got to be honest, I love the Austin Powers franchise. And Wayne's World is fantastic, too. I don't think Wayne's World 2 gets enough credit. And now that it's getting a decent Blu-ray release, I hope
it really from who?
I think it's just Sony.
Oh,
They're putting out a 2-pack of both of them.
what do you got coming up on your channel?
I got coming up on my channel. I'm doing a regular announcements video this week on Thursday. I've got another video. In fact, obviously you can see I'm working on it because I can reach out and grab them. I put out a video on bootlegs a couple weeks ago. We talked about that after the Shaw Brothers stuff, and I went and got some more bootlegs, and I'm going to be talking about them. And one of the things is when I did my first bootleg video, I made an error in saying that if you buy a legit movie, it won't come on a burned disc. Just completely blanking on the fact that, of course, some of them will. I mean, Lionsgate puts out burned discs. So I'm going to correct that and talk about some of the companies that put out burned discs and why they put out burned discs. But then also going into some of these that I got, like, let's get one of the better ones. Let's see. This one's actually a really good release. The Halloween, The Evil Unmasked Cut. This takes Halloween, The Evil Unmasked Cut combines Rob Zombie's Halloween and Halloween 2 into a terrifying new experience, incorporating deleted scenes to complete Zombie's unique telling of one of horror's most iconic stories.
Is it good?
It is great. And it not that I don't like it, because again, I love both the Zombies Halloween films. It erases completely a lot of the Sherry Moon zombie horror scenes with the horse in the second film that a lot of people hated. So it just takes out a lot of the fluff and makes it really nice.
What's your favorite? We should do an episode on like our 5 favorite unknown directors or unknown in the popular sense, and do 5 movies.
Yeah, I could probably do that.
Because, like, you know, everyone knows like Ridley Scott and that stuff, but
And even then, the stuff that people would say is underground nowadays is something like Ari Aster or Robert Eggers, and their stuff is just as mainstream nowadays.
yeah, Ari Aster. Like, I would pick, like, for me, I would pick like Chang Che, and then do non-Venom Mob films because
Right.
that dude's got 94 movies or something.
Jesus.
Insane. Fucking bonkers.
Yeah.
Also, like, I mean, I feel like Sergio Corbucci's almost borderline, like, just as big as Leone.
He is he's at least as iconic as Leone,
I would
but
say
at the same time,
popular
his
in-
his name is not in the zeitgeist like Leone at all.
because, like, Leone's great, you know, he's amazing movies, but Corbucci, like, more movies, more like just consistent. Fucking, I mean, Django started a bunch of tropes, you know what I mean? So Hitchcock needs to be mentioned. Nobody talks about him.
So what about this one? SJ brought up the Missing in Action trilogy.
Missing in Action. What's that?
I don't know anything about it. I don't remember that title offhand. I was hoping that was one you knew. It sounds like a Liam Neeson movie or something like that.
Missing in Action. Oh, it's fucking it's Chuck Norris.
Oh, that's why I recognize the title. Got it.
Chuck Norris.
I gotta be honest, I'm not a Chuck Norris person at all.
I'm not either.
Like, I would say my favorite Chuck Norris film is Dodgeball.
Wait, is he in that?
Yeah, he does the iconic thumbs up to the camera when they're
Is he
doing
really?
the match at the end, and that's it. Yeah. Sardis says he likes Percy Alden films.
Percy Allen. Who's that?
I recognize the name. I can't remember the title offhand. Oh, he's a German director.
Oh, Tarkovsky.
Your
Underrated.
favorite.
My favorite guy. Good guy. Smart guy.
Percy Adlin. He did like Rosalie Goes Shopping. That's a big one. Salmon Berries, Younger and Younger. Zucker Baby out of Rosenheim. Baby Cakes. Celeste from 1980.
I gotta.
Baghdad Cafe.
I was telling Ryan this off air, but I watched a movie. Chang Che directed it, and it was before any of the Venom movies. It was called Seven Man Army, and it's like a trench warfare movie, modern. And then at the fucking end, there is just a wuxia style sword fight in the trenches, and it's super cool. I was like really shocked. I was like, all right, this is a good war movie. And then that last part just elevated it for me. It's great.
Jeremy brought up the Anchorman series. I've never seen the second one.
I haven't seen the second one either, but go fuck yourself, San Diego. It's like such a good.
I love Anchorman.
I love it too, dude. But there's people that are like fans of that movie that are just like I'm friends with someone on Facebook whose bio says CEO at Panther Sex Cologne or whatever it is.
Oh God.
Flip, when you watch Bergman, did you like him? I liked some of them. I liked obviously the big ones. I'm really bad with names. The movie that Lighthouse was inspired by. It's a Bergman movie. Night of the Wolf, maybe. That one was my favorite. But they all blend together, and it's just full of pretentiousness. It's full of just really pretentious shit. Seventh Seal is great. I think that's probably the best one. And it's a little cliche to say, but it's good. Scenes of Marriage is good.
Which, by the way, throw out there, don't forget, Seventh Seal just got a 4K from BFI.
Yep. Did BFI try to make it in the States?
I don't know about that.
Because the Shaw stuff that Funimation put out, it was originally licensed by BFI, and then they dropped the licenses, and Funimation picked it up.
It was licensed in the U.S.?
Licensed in the U.S., I'm 90% sure.
Just remember, the B in BFI literally stands for British. Oh, man, Jeremy, you are totally correct. I love 21 and 22 Jump Street.
Yeah, those are great.
Man, obviously, blame the comedian for bringing all the hit comedies, but I love Police Academy and Naked Gun, too. Love it. Dave says Airplane and Airport. I don't think I've ever seen Airport.
Sorry, BCI, not BFI.
What is BCI?
I don't know. I guess it was looks like they're titles that BCI had before they closed shop. And then Funimation swooped in. So I thought it was BFI for the longest time, and it's BCI.
I don't think I've ever heard of them. Airport is not a movie. Yeah, that makes sense now.
Airport is not a movie.
Have we ever talked about, did you like any of the Kingsman movies?
Yeah. I haven't seen the new one, the one that's set in the past, right?
I don't think that one is out yet.
I've seen the first two for sure.
And now I was just trying to think. I don't know that I've seen the second one yet.
And they're good.
I know I loved the first one.
It does that thing that like Marvel does, where like the action is like too overly choreographed at times. It's like, but it's good. It's just they're just not my favorite. I do have the 4K somewhere actually.
And beyond that, I think we've talked about this before, and this is somebody that I just brought up a minute ago. I think that a lot of the action scenes in those, they failed due to some of the things that we've talked about with Liam Neeson, and the fact that there's like 900 cuts when it would do so much better just to have like a good 3 or 4 cuts while filming, a 2-minute scene. That shouldn't be that hard.
What about the Taken franchise? Are you a big fan of the Taken franchise?
No.
It's a guilty pleasure, man.
I am not taken by Taken.
I'm totally taken by Taken.
I did not like the first one and never saw any of the others.
I will find you, and I will kill you.
I love Happy Death Day in the second one.
I love movies that are like dad porn, where like it's like a dad kicking the shit out of someone for wronging his family. I don't want anyone to wrong my family, but like nobody. It's
Nobody
like a
was so good.
daydream of mine. Like every time I'm at work, I'm like, I wish somebody would do something. Like, I wish, like, this is gonna sound really fucked up. I wish someone would just punch my mom in the face. One, because it'd be funny, but two, it would give me a reason to kill them, and I think that would be awesome.
I skipped over this one too. I love a lot of the National Lampoon films.
So do I.
Obviously, they're not super connected, but man, they put out some really good films.
Nobody is fun. John Wick's great, but nobody just like hit the dad chord so hard. Like I have done and gone out of my way for shit for my daughter that I'm just like I wouldn't do for anyone else. Like dead asleep, sicker than shit, and she's like, "Dad, I want ice cream." And I'm like, "I'm gonna start the car. I gotta get you ice cream because you're my little princess, and I love you."
That's awesome.
My kid's been shaking her butt, and I don't know who taught her this. And I'm like, "Don't do it." And she's like, "Look, Daddy." I'm like, "Oh my god, don't do that." She's 3. She has not been listening today. So Halo came out, right? The new Halo game dropped, free to play. It's fun, and I want to fucking play it. But she's like, "I want to play PlayStation. I want to play robots game." And I'm like, I want one thing, because when I wanted to play the Switch last week, she was hogging it with Mario, and now that I want to play Halo, she doesn't want to. Kids, dude, kids.
Everybody's trying to get us to watch Airport all of a sudden.
What is Airport?
It's a disaster movie from 1970. I knew about Airport 75 and 77. I didn't know the first one was just called Airport. Old disaster movies. I don't know if you've ever seen it. I love Earthquake.
I don't know if I've seen it.
Earthquake is so cheesy. It came out on Shout Select, and man, it's so good.
Let's watch a movie. Let's watch Airport. Would you watch
See if
Airport
it's-
and please the fans?
Let me see if it's streaming anywhere. As we fully talk about physical media all night, I want to see if this is streaming anywhere. Nope, it is not streaming anywhere.
The Fallen movies are dumb fun. I do kind of like those movies. I think they're just elevated by Gerard Butler.
I've still never seen any of them.
Really? They're just like dumb. Like just close your eyes. Not close your eyes. Close your brain.
Close your eyes.
You can tell I'm starting to laugh.
That's the best kind of movie.
The Twilight movies are really good when you go like this. I love how your nemesis is your kid. She's not my nemesis. She's my best friend, but she is spoiled. And rightfully so. She's cute as fuck. So Nick Nolte's hilarious in everything he does because it's just fucking Nick Nolte and everything.
Especially his mugshot. Man, Jeremy brought up Moon. Moon is such a good movie. Jeff, I got to be honest here. I don't know about Flip. I've never liked anything from the Planet of the Apes trilogy. Like,
I think that was great.
The new ones they're good, but it just doesn't hit me.
I really like them. I really like them. But that's just me.
One or all of the new ones, I think they were done by Matt Reeves, right?
I think he did the last two. I only the first one's him. The first one compared to the last two is just so weird because, like, I don't think it really truly does a good job setting up what those movies become.
Right.
Because those movies become nuts. And I think they're underrated. No one talks about them.
Yeah, not anymore.
I think the Apes trilogy is a better version of what they were trying to do with the Avengers. Like, we should do a whole episode about Marvel. Because I have a lot to say.
Or, to make it better, we could each choose what we think are the best comic book adaptations.
Ooh.
But I want to make sure that you
Number
branch
one.
out and not just do manga.
Number one's Lone Wolf and Cub.
Right.
Okay. I'll pick 2 manga and 3 comic books. Actually, you know what? I won't even pick Lone Wolf and Cub. I will exclude Lone Wolf and Cub from the conversation entirely. We should do that next week. Do you want to do that next week?
If the people are interested, yeah, why not?
You want to know what I think is interesting is that all my friends that are into martial arts movies, all of them love the Eternals. And I'm really interested to see. Yeah, that's what I was like. Like everyone I know that's into martial arts hardcore loves the Eternals. So,
and Jeff, I'd agree with that. Everyone does seem to really love Lord of the Rings trilogy.
I would love to participate in that conversation. Do I have
Jeremy? We'd have you on if you want to come on. Send me a message.
Jeremy on. We should have my friend Ogie on too. He's really into. He would be able to pick manga adaptations, and anime adaptations that we don't even know about.
I don't know if you know, Jeremy's a stand-up out of Southern California.
He does stand-up?
Yeah.
That name sounds familiar, dude.
He's in all the groups.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Jeremy Long Dong.
SJ was pointing out that he's got over 4,000 titles and uses the Collector Z software to avoid doubles. I use the Blu-ray.com app, and yeah, highly suggest that to anybody that's looking for one. We went over that a couple weeks ago.
Oh, I only have one mutual friend with Jeremy, and it's not you.
That doesn't make any sense.
It's John Gray. Jeremy seems like a rad dude, though. I made a joke. I said Jeremy Long Dong, and then it says co-founder producer at Long Dick Films. Yeah, dude, Jeremy, come on in, man. That would be awesome. I don't use this is gonna sound crazy, but like I know what I have.
Jeremy helped write and has a small part in this movie Clickbait that was put out by Horror Pack.
For real?
Yeah.
Damn. Jeremy, yeah, come on in, dude. That'd be fucking
I hope I gave that credit correct, Jeremy. If I got something wrong on there, let me know.
Jeremy seems like a rad dude.
Yes.
Well, let's go wrap it up. I'm gonna go work out, sicker than shit, and then go clean the restaurant.
You see that?
Long Dick Films is a production company I started with my friend Andy Dick. The Andy Dick?
Probably.
No way. No way. The Andy Dick.
Why don't we save that for live next Tuesday night? Because I will be messaging Jeremy about coming onto the show.
Perfect. So we're doing 5 comic book adaptations.
5 comic book adaptations.
Awesome. You guys get ready. Get ready for manga adaptations that aren't known. See? That aren't relatively known. So
I was just going to go for my 5 favorite. So,
I mean, they're going to be ones that I like a lot. But looking around, I'm looking at my manga and I'm like, which ones have adaptations? Oh. Yes, the Andy Dick. Holy shit. All right, well, we'll talk about that later. Anyways, we love you guys. We will see you next week. Make sure to subscribe to both of us, Disconnected, and me. Ryan does a live show every Thursday night. At what time?
I do mine at 8:30 Central.
Which is perfect because I'm washing dishes at my restaurant around that time. So I just throw it on even if I'm not communicating. It's great. He interacts with the chat. I'm lazy, so I'm probably not going to upload a video this week. But
I should have one up again on Bootlegs before the end of the week.
I should probably do Shaw Brothers Part 2. But
thanks, everybody. We love spending time with everybody. All the comments, they keep it going. We appreciate the community, and you guys are amazing.
Peace out, guys.
See you next week.